We've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that.
Hello. Kyle, I got a question for you. Did you know that the Pistons won again? You know the Pistons won again. Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about. That was history, what we saw yesterday. Honestly, like, we haven't talked since Game 6, where the Pistons made a different type of history by going down 24 points. We're MFing the TV, MFing Trajan Langdon for screwing up this year at the deadline. And just like that, 48 hours later, we're moving on to the next round. Historic comeback in Game 6 on, what was it, it's Friday night. And then yesterday, they make history by becoming the 15th team in NBA history. The second team this round to come back from 3-1. Took care of business yesterday against Orlando in every way. Cade Cunningham, oh my God, we're going to talk about him for most of this show. Tobias Harris, a legendary Game 7 performance. Jalen Duren actually showed up in this one too. Danis Jenkins, who had struggled the entirety of this series before yesterday, was shooting 14% from downtown. This time, Game 7, he hits 5 of the 6 threes he takes, including a buzzer beater at the end of the third quarter. And that was when I just knew, like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good right now. They're going to win this game. Kyle and I woke up on Sunday morning. We were debating whether or not we were going to the game all of Saturday. Ticket prices kept climbing and climbing. I was waiting for them to drop. And when Sunday morning rolled around, the idea of not being in Little Caesars Arena for a Game 7, it's like a once-in-a-decade type of game. There hasn't been a Game 7 that the Pistons have played in since 2007. So I'm thinking Sunday morning, who knows when the next time Detroit's going to play a home Game 7 is, especially one with this sort of like level of intensity where you haven't even been to the second round, the Eastern Conference semis, since 2008. I want to be in the building for this. We decided to rip the Band-Aid off. We start driving down before we even have the tickets. It was just something that we knew that we could not miss, and I don't regret it one single bit. And shout out to, what was the ticket app we used? Game Time? It just upgraded our tickets for some reason that you and I couldn't explain. We ended up with pretty good seats to watch that game.
Yep, we finessed.
it was one of the most fun experiences I've ever had in person, being at Little Caesars Arena yesterday to watch Cade, to watch Tobias. Duran actually had a pretty good impact yesterday, too. I mean, like, credit to Paolo Banchero. That guy's an absolute baller. It felt impossible to slow him down the entire series.
At the first 11 points of the game for the Magic. I mean, he came out hot once again.
And what he ended with, 38?
Yeah.
And for them to overcome that yet again, we're moving on to the semis, man. What a game.
Yeah, I'm sure you can tell a little bit this morning. Ben's voice is a bit fatigued. I'm certainly in the same realm as him. A lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, a lot of excitement. That's really just the best way to describe the Pistons game yesterday. Just the ration of emotions that we had on Friday night following that Game 6. You know, I mean, you'd mention it, but we are here in this studio watching the game, and at halftime we are breaking down all of the reasons that the Pistons season went wrong. I mean, we were breaking down everything and every single angle that they took wrong this season and why this and that and that. And for them to have the comeback that they did, I mean, to think that the 30-3 run they went on in Game 2 was not going to be the craziest run they went on all series.
Right.
The fact that it actually came when they were down 3-2, down by 20+ at halftime, for them to do what they did in Game 6, it made you feel like Game 7 was wrapped up. And we had talked about this, but I don't know how other Pistons fans felt. I didn't really feel the nerves that you would typically get of a Game 7 that I'm sure the Boston and Philly fans had, that I'm sure the Cleveland and Toronto fans had going into their Game 7. Up until like 5 minutes before tip.
I was about to say, I hope they hit at some point because I was freaking out.
But usually like Game 7, I mean, even like Game 5 of the Tigers-Guardians and Game 5 like of 2 years ago and Game 5 of Tigers-Mariners, like I felt those of like a winner-takes-all game. You feel those emotions the whole day, the second you wake up. I didn't really have that for this game because I felt so confident until like it was right about to happen. And then I was like, imagine if they lose. Like, that's all you can think about when Game 7 is around, you know? Like, what if they don't win?
Yeah, it'd feel like a total failure of a season. And you could counter and be like, well, they had 60 regular season wins, exceeded expectations. That's all for nothing if you don't win a playoff series and gain the experience of winning a playoff series and knowing what that takes. And I almost feel like coming back from 3-1, it's almost like you won 2 playoff series just in terms of the experience. Like you played in 7 games rather than 4 or 5 or whatever it is. So you get the extra games. Plus now you know, like, okay, first 3 games, first 4 games, this is how you can't play playoff basketball. Last 3 games, this is what it takes to win playoff basketball. So one of the things that we are super upset about at halftime of Game 6 was, well, nobody just wins the Eastern Conference without winning a couple series first. Like, you don't just waltz your way into a finals without the experience. And if they would have lost that game, it would have been 2 years in a row where they walked away from the playoffs with no experience, without winning a playoff series. Now they have a playoff series win under their belt. And I look around at the other teams left in the Eastern Conference after Boston loses. The best team left is New York. I don't know if I need to remind any of the Pistons fans out there, you swept New York this year. You got to play this Cleveland team in which you're favored over. I didn't think that we would see that going into this series, or at least before the playoffs started. They really struggled with Toronto. And now once the series is here, Pistons are favored. You got Philly and New York on the other side. Like, as atypical as it is, as out of the ordinary as it is, for a team to just go from 0 playoff wins, 0 playoff experience, really, to all the way to the finals, for the most part, that is impossible. They're the second favorites to win the Eastern Conference right now, and the team that's favored over them, they've had their number all year. I don't think it's off the table for the Pistons to be in the finals right now. I really don't. The team that I thought they couldn't beat is eliminated, and that's the Celtics.
Which is just unbelievable to think about the change of mindset that has happened in 4 days. You know, this team was down 3-1. They came back from 3-1. Like, I feel like we're almost missing the thing that's right in front of our face here. 3-1. It happened twice in this playoffs. It's happened 15 times ever in the history of the league. Over 75 years of this league existing. And we got to witness our team doing it, yet alone, doing it in a Game 7, hosting the Game 7. This is the first playoff series win for the Pistons in almost 20 years. I mean, just in general, getting
first
that out of the way.
First playoff series win in LCA.
Like, so many different milestones achieved franchise-wise, NBA history-wise this weekend. And it's just, it's a collection of what has happened for this Pistons core in general, not just this season. I mean, how terrible they were 2 years ago, and then the jump last year, a second jump this year. No one thought they were going to be the 1 seed. Oh, they're the biggest frauds ever. Turns out everybody's frauds in the Eastern Conference, and the team that everyone thought was fine in Boston is out. And so everything has changed in this playoffs for the NBA. We went from disaster, OMG, offseason is going to be crazy for Detroit, to can this team actually realistically go to the finals? And the answer is yes. That's the craziest part.
I don't know who the biggest winner from Game 7 is. It probably has to be Tobias Harris, who throughout the regular season scored 20 points 10 times. Never did it on back-to-back games. And somehow did it 5 straight times to close out this series, with Game 7 being the most efficient of them all. 5 for 7 from downtown after struggling for the most part. Leading up to Game 7, goes for 30, which is just a season high in total. Tobias Harris has always had the narrative that, yeah, you can trust him in the regular season, then the playoffs roll around, and he's taking a huge step backwards. Once you have to ask a little bit more of him, it doesn't go very well. I thought Tobias Harris was fine last year in the playoffs. I thought the defense he played on Karl Anthony Towns was exceptional. And then this time around, it's all on offense. How many times did he get switched onto Suggs or Bane, who are good defenders, like really good defenders in the NBA, who have both gotten paydays because of it? And he just bullies them into like a 2008 Carmelo Anthony, I'm just going to punish you in the low post. Not a true post up, but just we're going one-on-one from 15 feet out, and you can't stop me because you're too small. How many times did we see that throughout the course of the series? And specifically yesterday, and it just works. It just ends up being a good shot, when in principle it shouldn't be. You want threes and layups in today's NBA, and Tobias Harris is everything that goes against that, yet it feels like it's going in every single time he gets to 10 feet away and fades away and hits his shot. Every time it feels automatic.
Well, and he got you threes yesterday, too.
Huh.
I mean, Tobias Harris, if I would have told you going into the playoffs, say the second best player on the Pistons is going to be Tobias Harris, would you have taken that as a good thing or a bad thing? Because that would have...
Probably a good thing.
You think so? Because to me, I would have felt, oh, that means everybody else stunk. Because I know what Tobias is going to bring. He's going to bring me 12 to 15 points on mild efficiency. Because he's so consistently that throughout the regular season, right? Mm-hmm. That we know what Tobias Harris is. He was what we saw in the playoffs, just at an insanely higher version, at a much more efficient version. And you could say last year in the playoffs, he was the Pistons' second best player. Now, in that context, it wasn't really a good thing because no one else really stepped up in the playoffs last year. And this year, yeah, there's been other guys that have stepped up, and it does involve Jalen Duren taking a step back. But what Tobias has done, the 5 straight 20-point games in the playoffs, when you have to take into consideration the history of playoff Tobias Harris.
Yeah, Tobias Harris over me?
The Philly fans hate Tobias Harris. And I'm already envisioning, what if we get Philly-Detroit conference finals, by the way? Tobias Harris back in Philadelphia? Woohoo!
This just ends up being the Tobias Harris revenge tour. I mean, he's playing all the teams he used to play for.
Tobias is the second best player on the 1 seed. That's how good he's been.
The top... In the first round.
In the first round, he was. Yeah, I guess that you're right. I should context that better. But, like, it is unreal how good he was down the stretch in this series. He was extremely dependable. That's how George Blaha used a word to describe him yesterday. It's perfect. He is dependable for Detroit.
Yet, it almost feels insane to say anybody else is the winner of this series other than Cade Cunningham, who had, keep in mind, Game 7s get ugly. Like, usually Game 7s are rock fights. He finished with 30. He's the first player in NBA history to finish with 30-plus points, 10-plus assists, 2 blocks, which the defense from this kid. We've been talking about it for 2 years, but I hope everyone's recognizing it now. And 2 threes. First player in NBA history to do all that in a Game 7. I like the turnaround that this guy's had from 3 in the playoffs is almost unexplainable because he's just never been a lights-out three-point shooter for the most part in his career. Yet, come the playoffs, when their backs against the wall in the final 3 games, all facing elimination, shooting over 60% from downtown. That part of it just doesn't really make sense, other than, yeah, he's a superstar that rises to the occasion. I'm looking around the East. I think it's pretty unanimous at this point. He's the best player we have left. Shout out Donovan Mitchell. No disrespect to him. He's been doing this for a while now, but there's levels to this, and it feels like Donovan Mitchell, we know what he is. We know what ceiling he has.
Yeah,
it's
he's
very
a
high.
Really good player.
Great player. Cade is a super-duper star. who is ascending onto a whole different level right now. And now that the Jays are gone from Boston and Tatum and Brown, I don't even think it's close. I think he's the best player left in the East, which makes me feel pretty comfortable saying I think the Pistons can go to the finals.
I think there's a decent debate with whichever guy shines more in that other series in the East between Maxey and Brunson, but I'm with you that it's Cade. I mean, there's never been more doubt that he is not only, like you could say, the best player left in the East, but just in general, a top 5 guy in this league overall. I mean, with his back against the wall, down 3-1 in the second playoff series ever, he goes for 45 in Game 5, 45 points. In Game 6, they're down by 20-plus at halftime, and he has 24 himself in the second half, including just an insane stretch in the fourth quarter of defense as well. You know, that poke steal, and then he finishes with the finish on the other end.
And then block in there, too.
Yeah, and then in Game 7, which you threw it out there, but there is just a long, long history of superstar players, of some of the best players ever struggling in Game 7. Game 7 is always the ugliest basketball there is, man, because anything can happen. And he has 32 and 12 in his first ever Game 7 on the best efficiency of the series.
And you and I saw him up close in the second half. He looked poised and under control, and it was not like the pressure was getting to him. Everything he does is like the smooth operator nickname is perfect, but it's also like it feels like he's playing slower than everybody else, and he's processing things faster than everybody else in a good way. Nothing sped him up yesterday in a Game 7.
Yeah, and Game 7 should be the game where the nerves are out, where he's trying to take his shot a little bit, hunt things a little bit extra early. No, I mean, he got up to a slower start. He only had 3 points in the first couple minutes of the game. But the efficiency was unreal, man. 4 of 6 from downtown. Got to the free throw line a ton. 10 of 18 from the field. You cannot ask for a better performance than what he did in Game 7 yesterday, because Michael Jordan has bad Game 7s. Mm-hmm. LeBron James has bad Game 7s. Obviously, I'm not saying Cade is going to be this best Game 7 player ever, but in the first one ever to do what he did, it's awesome.
I love the thing where he drives in from the right side and then starts to go up for a layup, but is also looking around for the lob threat for somebody open from 3. And seeing it up close yesterday, you can literally see him scanning, nobody's open. Okay, I'm just going to go take this up for myself. It's that level of thinking where he can slow the game down that I think makes him such an incredible player. That in the defense. In the three-point thing, the three-point shooting being 61% in the final 3 games, I almost can't explain it. It's inexplainable. Unexplainable. How did he overnight become a great three-point shooter from behind the arc? Because that was kind of our one knock on him through 4 games when they were down 3-1. It was turnovers, not a great three-point shooter. This is the things that are holding Cade Cunningham back. And then just like that, fixed both of those problems, and the Pistons came back from 3-1. And he doesn't have the narrative that Paolo has. Great player can't get out of the first round.
Whew.
Pistons move on to the semis.
Quite happy we avoided that. Now can we avoid what Donovan Mitchell has? Great player can't get out of the second round. And just so happens that they're playing that guy next.
989-837-6125. Do you believe? Do you believe that this team has a finals run in them? I look around the Eastern Conference. I fear nothing. Let's go. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on a Monday morning celebrating a Pistons Eastern Conference semifinal appearance for the first time since 2008. The 9 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Iron Stack Technology. You know, we talk about it all the time. The game plan. JB Bickerstaff. You know, total wild card when he threw out Paul Reed in Game 6. And it was just wait, what's happening right now?
I love Paul Reed.
And the Paul Reed stuff is, you know what I compared it to? I compared it to pitching by chaos, which we saw yesterday. The pitching by chaos worked because it was so crazy. Paul Reed, putting him in, I think it's just so crazy and so chaotic that it actually sometimes worked. And it worked in Game 6 after it did not work in the first half. It worked in the second half. That was JB Bickerstaff's game plan the final 2 games of this series. Iron Stack Technology, they also draw up a brilliant game plan. They help businesses stay secure, efficient, and ready for what's next, so you can focus on your mission instead of your technology. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can check them out online at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9
coming without no money, girl. Come on.
By Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Getting a little shots fired our way on the text line. Said everybody on the radio wanted Tobias Harris off the team at the deadline. The Pistons demanded he stayed there, and look who ended up being right. He's a great player, and the Detroit Pistons needed him. Shout out to Tobias Harris. Yeah, I mean, I'll raise my hand.
Yeah.
I wanted Tobias Harris gone at the deadline. I guess
I wouldn't say I demanded it.
I mean, I still think going into the offseason, it's the most upgradable spot on the team. It's just nice that he was also able to come through in such an efficient and big-time way in the playoffs. Now, am I going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, this is just a write-in to happen here in the next round, too? No.
No, we certainly shouldn't expect this.
No, not at all.
Because then we'd probably be leading ourselves up for disappointment.
Especially because heading into this next round, like, I would actually argue Tobias Harris, it's the worst matchup for him. He's the Pistons' power forward, and because Orlando, like, once Franz went out, it was pretty much, hey, man, there's not a lot of guys on the team that can guard Tobias Harris other than Paolo, who just wasn't guarding him. And once those smaller guys got switched onto him, Tobias was able to do whatever he wanted. Look at the matchup that Tobias Harris is more than likely going to have in this round. Evan Mobley? That's a guy who's, like, just way bigger than Tobias Harris. Although maybe they put Mobley on a Sar.
Like, he's way bigger height-wise, but, like, the Banchero matchup, I mean, that guy is, he is frame-wise built way more than Mobley is, you know?
Yeah, but he wasn't.
Mobley's like kind of a twig.
But he wasn't posting up Banchero. And I also think it's really hard to post up the tall, lanky guys because you can back them down and get to where you want to go.
Oh, you're just talking from when they are defending on Tobias. I see.
Yeah. I think Tobias will hold his own against Evan Mobley.
Yeah, I would say defensively, yeah.
But they also just might put Mobley on a Sar Thompson and let Mobley roll around knowing that he doesn't really have to leave the paint.
That's more than likely what they'll do.
Which means Strus would be guarding Tobias Harris, so maybe there is more. Either way, I don't think it's the best matchup for Tobias going. Like, I'd be advising you to not just be like, oh, this is who Tobias Harris is the rest of the playoffs. We can celebrate it. It needs to be mentioned. I don't think this is just what we're getting from this point on. I think somebody else is going to need to step up next round. Like, if this is the Tobias round, somebody else is going to need to be the second round guy. Meanwhile, Cade's just 30 and 8 every night.
Well, also, like, to this texter's point, the reason why not only us, but a lot of people were demanding for Tobias Harris to be traded at the deadline was strictly because of the contract.
Yeah.
The guy who's making $26 million. I mean, that's why he was the most upgradable spot. I think Tobias had a good year overall. But the reason why you asked for him to be traded was because it made the most sense to use that money and upgrade to go get, good players make that type of money. Make $26 million.
And he's an expiring, so any team that's
could
selling,
take it on. Exactly. Like, that's why we were saying it. Not because he was terrible. It just made a lot of sense to move off of him. But once again, to this texter's point, they didn't, and they were right because he's been awesome in the playoffs.
Another text from Rob says, my brother and I were in the building at LCA. It was epic. By far the best basketball game I've ever seen in person in my life. I'd have to agree, I think. I don't think I've seen a better basketball game in person. Just
Game 7? Your team winning a Game 7, and they won pretty handedly, too? Like, that makes you... That goes right to the top, right?
That's why on Sunday morning when I woke up, I was like, I feel like we just have to go down. Who knows when this is going to happen again? And to be in the building for the very first one, I don't regret the decision. And as soon as we got in the building, it was like, no matter how this thing goes, there's no way we're regretting this, unless they lose. Then they're probably
if they lose, it's like one of the worst, days ever. But I mean, we want to do a classic bit here, like grading the weekend.
100.
I mean, what an awesome weekend. They won Game 6 to start it off on Friday. The Tigers finally won a playoff series. The Pistons pull off, a regular series, first time in a while. The Pistons win a playoff series, Game 7. Rodrigo was on SNL. I mean, you want to talk about a great weekend.
Way to slip that one in there. Yeah, that's good. I saw her do a bit about a fake ID. It was pretty funny. I liked it.
She's pretty elite, man.
Biggest winner of the first round. So is it just Tobias Harris? And it's kind of like with the caveat that Cade's just a superstar and is always a superstar? Because I feel like until you do it in the playoffs, it's hard for you to make the case for yourself that you're a top 5 guy or superstar, or however you want to label it. And Cade did it in the first round. Like, he's arrived. He's here. So I think it's kind of hard to pick between those two guys. Also, like, it's not him, but deserves a mention. Asar Thompson, 16 rebounds, 16 steals, 16 blocks. Third non-big in NBA history to do that in a playoff series, behind LeBron James and Robert Horry. Seems notable, but it's not him.
No, but like Asar definitely deserves the love and the fact of people were talking him off of, oh, he can't play, he this and that. No, they have figured, like, you will figure out to make Asar Thompson work on offense because what he brings on defense.
He had 4 steals yesterday in the first quarter.
It's unbelievable. Like just some of the blocks that he has, man. Oh my gosh, he is just everywhere. Like, we talked about this before, but my biggest nightmare is just being guarded by that guy. Like, that feels like the worst thing that could ever happen to you. And watching that actually, up close and the way that he's defending these guys, oh my goodness. It's scary. Like, thank God that guy's on my favorite team because it would be a terror to play against him.
It's scary because it's not like Vic where you just literally like can't even comprehend getting a shot off because it'll get blocked, so you're afraid to shoot it. It's kind of the opposite. He almost baits you into shooting where you think you're open and you've shaken him, and then suddenly he's just stuffing your face. And I think Orlando kind of figured it out by Game 7, but it took him 5 games to figure out, hey, man, if this guy's within a 5-foot vicinity of me, he's going to be able to get a hand on this ball, whether that's in the passing lane or blocking a shot.
But, like, going back to the biggest winner, because I think he is, like, Asar Thompson's up there. He solidified himself as a top 3 player on this team, like, no doubt about it.
In a top 2 asset on the team, I would say.
Yeah, I think he is the second best asset on this team, 100%. But Tobias is probably the biggest winner just because of, like, the stuff going into the series. We needed to expect this from Cade. All we got was, like, a stamp on it. Like, he approved it. Yes, he confirmed what we wanted to believe about Cade Cunningham, that he is a superstar, and he is one of the best players in the league, and he proved it. So we had those high expectations for him, and him proving it is 100% like an amazing series for Cade, and he might be the biggest winner because he proved that he is a superstar. But Tobias, I mean, this guy is one of the, like, think about the playoff stuff with him, A whole franchise, a whole city despises him because of how he played in the playoffs.
I think it has to be Tobias Harris. Go ahead and finish what you're going to say because I'm gonna pivot it to something else.
Just him, like, the expectation of Tobias Harris. We didn't expect him to have 20 in 5 straight games. Like, what he brought to them being down 3-1 and being the dependable guy, like, that makes him the biggest winner.
I think you're right. I think the thing that puts the feather in the cap and solidifies it as him is he's an expiring. He's a free agent, and he 100% has earned himself another payday. Now, we'll see what happens here in the next round.
That's a good point, yeah.
But as of right now, he's earned himself another big-time payday in free agency.
And he just has done that time and time again in his career, man. He hits free agency at the right times. Man, he hits free agency at the right time.
And then somebody regrets it, but then it's like, by the end, maybe they don't regret it. I don't know. He's had a really weird
The
career.
Pistons certainly never regretted this one. I don't think there was a stretch of this time where it was like, man, the Tobias Harris contract, oh.
No, and I wasn't very optimistic about it when they first signed him. I was like, great, we're going backwards. We're bringing in players that have already been here. What are we doing? How is this any different than Jeremy Grant or Bojan Bogdanovic? I think it was better than both those guys. So, shout out Trajan. 989, even though we were MFing him at halftime of Game 6.
Yeah, we'll forget about that for now.
For now, yeah. 989-837-6125. I look around the Eastern Conference. I think the Pistons going to win it. Do you believe, and who is the biggest winner from Game 1? We got our mid messages open the rest of the show. 989-837-6125. That's how you get a hold of us. Show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, siding on your house looking a little tired, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. By Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
I know we've been hinting at it for a little bit here, but let's actually look at what the odds are to win the Eastern Conference. The Pistons right now are sitting at plus 240, which is second lowest, only behind the New York Knicks, who are plus 145. Cleveland's 3-1, and Philadelphia is 6-1. Based on what happened in the regular season, and I know it's the regular season, but it's got to matter to some degree. The Pistons have some sort of edge over the Knicks, and I'm not exactly sure what it was. Maybe it was, like in hindsight, we just played harder than them in the regular season games, because there's nobody that's looked as good as New York has so far in the playoffs, at least in the Eastern Conference. So you got to at least acknowledge that. But the Pistons did have an edge over the Knicks nonetheless in the regular season. I didn't think that they would be favored over Cleveland if they were to match up in the second round at the beginning of the playoffs. Yet here we are. Cleveland really struggled with the Raptors. And it's brought us to this point where Cleveland is favored over, the Pistons are favored over Cleveland and have the second shortest odds to win the entire East. I don't think it's off the table, even though history says this can't happen. A team with no playoff wins under their belt can't just waltz into the playoffs and suddenly be a championship caliber team.
Yeah.
That typically doesn't happen. Yet I look around the East, this year's weird. We knew it was going to be weird going into the year. It's lived up to it. I think Cade's the best player we have left. And just like that, I think it's totally plausible that they're in the Eastern Conference Finals, or the Finals for that matter.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons for both, honestly. Like, for reasons you could say, well, they can't go to the NBA Finals. Because, like you said, you just look at the history of teams to go to the finals, specifically in recent NBA history, but you can even go back pretty soon as well. Like, teams in NBA history always have at least some sort of run in them prior to going to the finals. It takes some time. It takes a couple of them sometimes to get there. Even the Indiana Pacers, who were the team last year, it's like, oh, even the Pacers went to the finals. Well, they were in the conference finals the year before that. And so
even OKC before that lost to the Mavericks.
Exactly,
right
in the semis. Like, every single team has to have some sort of run in them before they do it. It's the reason why I have continuously doubted your Spurs take going to the NBA Finals. Like, now they have an alien on their team, so that might be a little bit of an asterisk for the history reasons of it. But, yeah, that would be the number one reason why, like, well, the Pistons can't go to the finals. But then when you look at it the other side, like, what is the one thing that history has always shown in the NBA?
Best player in the series typically wins the series.
That is like...
although that's happening less and less in the last 4 or 5 years.
But is it? Like, it's happening less and less.
Denver's been to one playoff.
But yet OKC won the finals last year, and who was the best player in the league last year?
Shea.
Right? Now, Indiana, like, yeah, I don't think Halliburton was the best player in a series, really, like, any playoff series they played in. And yet they made it to the finals. So, like, it does happen. But the fact that they have that, yes. And then you throw on top of, you say, yeah, the Knicks, at least they figured their stuff out or whatever, this and that. I almost disagree. I don't think any single team in the East won their series, like, enough where I'm like, they should be the favorite in the East. I mean, yeah, the Knicks, because in Game 6 they beat the Hawks by 1,000 points, yeah, we're going to say convincingly or whatever. I don't know. They were down 2-1. Like, we were like on panic watch for the Knicks for a second there. At least the Knicks fans were. So I don't think any team in the East right now, you're like, yeah, that team is for sure the favorite. That team's going to the finals. And that should be the number one reason why you think, oh, maybe the Pistons actually could have a chance to go to the finals.
I mean, similar to the Pistons, the Knicks ripped off 3 straight wins to close out the Hawks. And also, none of those games were close. Like, they didn't play a close game since they had lost the Atlanta game, which both of those losses were by 1 point. So they win game 1 by double digits. Then they lose each of the next 2 games, each by 1. And then they blow Atlanta out of the water for 3 straight games. Like, I know they were down 3-1, but that seemed almost more fluky. Like, realistically, this series probably should have just went 5 games, I would say.
The Knicks series?
Yeah, I would say realistically.
Yeah, I mean, both games they lost came down to, like, the last second, C.J. McCollum being a hero, you know?
Which...
It's kind of like how the Knicks lost last year, too, right? They just lost close games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's honestly how they won their first series, too. Like, how many of those games came down right to the wire with the Pistons?
Yeah. And they have the history. Like, Knicks Pistons would feed families. Now, we can't scooch past the team that's right in front of them, which is the Cavs. And remember how we felt about the Cavs in the regular season when the Pistons had that stretch of really good teams in the regular season. It started off with Cade having that insane game at MSG, and you're like, oh, man, the Pistons are going to the finals. And then
MVP,
then they played the Spurs and Cavs twice in 2 weeks and just got exposed both times. The Cavs were not at full strength in either one of those games. The Pistons lost both of them. And that's immediately when I felt like, okay, the Cavs are the team that I'm a bit nervous about. Please, somebody else be the 4-5 winner if that happens. And now we're here.
Can I say something that's a little like hot takey though, or like a sports show? I can't believe you just said that. Like, the Cavs are kind of soft in my mind. That Raptors team forced Game 7 simply for trying harder, simply for bringing the fight, and it took all the way until Game 7 in the second half for Cleveland to finally wake up and be like, we actually have to throw some punches in this matchup too. But for really 6 games, like. There was no argument that Toronto had more talent than Cleveland. They just don't. Yet it somehow went to 7 games because Cleveland just wasn't really up for the fight.
I mean, look at Toronto's team, man. Like,
That team blows.
that team was not very good. Like, the fact that they were the 5 seed in the first place was just like, wow. And yeah, they went going. I mean, Cleveland lost every road game. That's a sense of being soft right there. You can't go win in another team's building. Now the Pistons only did once, but like,
Better than 0.
yeah, exactly.
Hey, guess what? The Pistons don't have to win a single game on the road, and they could still go to the finals.
Right. We do have a couple people chiming in. Graydon in the YouTube chat says Cavs in 5, sadly. Ooh, in
Jeez,
5, man, in 5? Okay, that's tough. Chris says, very happy the Pistons won. However, I feel this will further blind Trajan Langdon from the reality that this roster is seriously flawed. I've thought about this thought.
What roster isn't, other than OKC and maybe San Antonio?
Sure,
too?
but like I get that point, but we do agree that, I mean, think about the conversations we were having at halftime of Game 6, you know? Like, that stuff is all still existing.
Yeah.
That stuff is still real no matter that they made it to round 2 or not. So I do understand here what Chris is saying, because I have thought this same exact thing, but I don't want it to take me out of the moment of, like, I'm bought back in. You know, like, I don't want it to take me out of actually believing they can go on a run.
I mean, no matter what, if they lose the series, whether that's this round or in the finals, there's no way you can go into the offseason and not think your roster's flawed. As soon as you lose, you'll know your
upgradable as
roster's
well.
flawed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not worried about us not making a
And,
big move at the deadline.
like, truly,
this summer.
maybe it could even give them another reason to upgrade, whereas, like, we are now one piece away.
Yes.
You know, they go to the conference finals and lose. Okay, now that we got there, we know that if we upgrade this spot, we actually have a chance to be a championship team. I think that that could be a positive, honestly.
I think that's way more likely than him just being like, you know what, this team's perfect running back with the exact same roster. I don't think that's going to happen.
Unless they go to the finals and lose in Game 7. Like, that would be the only reason why that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Which I don't think it's going to happen still. You know, we kind of just laid that all out.
No, unfortunately, OKC still feels, and the Spurs both just feel kind of inevitable right now. 989-837-6125. Got to work some Tigers in because they're just the injuries will not stop with this team, which has become pretty frustrating and concerning, to say the least. Your dream lawn, yeah, Stravinsky sod can literally roll that out. Top quality sod that turns patchy yards into backyard showstoppers, and they've been doing it for over 50 years, which means they are experts. Whether you're fixing a rough spot or redoing your whole yard, Stravinsky delivers lush green perfection. Fast, friendly, and farm fresh because your grass should be greener right now. Don't settle for a bland yard. Increase the value of your home and get the lawn your neighbors will envy with Stravinsky sod.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building. By Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Well, seems like a good time to hit the news because we just got a little bit of a news update based on what happened with the Pistons series. So, Kyle, go ahead and take it away.
The Mitts Morning Catch.
Yeah, you've got that right, Ben. Jamal Mosley has been fired this morning from the Orlando Magic. Seems like this was pretty predetermined. They already had this one ready to go. Makes me wonder when stuff like this happens, a guy gets fired the morning after a Game 7. Were they going to fire him if they won? Or was this as simple as like, yeah, if they lose, he's gone. If they go on to the next series, then he's earned another year? I guess we'll never know, right?
Yeah, I guess we will never know. It's kind of like if Sharon Moore beat Ohio State, would any of the stuff would have ever come out? Who knows? Would Michigan have just tried to sweep it under the rug?
A little different.
I don't know. Seems like something they might try to do. Yeah. So this is writing kind of on the wall with this one, but the other Mark Stein report is maybe the more interesting thing for a lot of our listeners.
Yeah, Mark Stein, who is a pretty trusted person in NBA circles. This was a report from him last night, once again, assuming that Jamal Mosley was going to be fired from the Orlando Magic, which seemed like the most unwritten secret there was. He reports that, league sources says that the Magic are admirers of Michigan head coach Dusty May and would have a level of interest if he were indeed available. It must be noted that the expectation at this point in the college basketball world is that Dusty May will stay with the Wolverines after their national championship win. It has been, if you're tapped in with the college basketball scene and just the people that are in the know, it sounds like Dusty May has always had an interest. Not saying this is a new thing, but he has always had a goal of coaching in the NBA. That's something that has been tossed around, not just since they won the championship, but just for a while now.
Look, here's the deal. Michigan fans, you're going to have to get used to this every single year,
yes.
Fighting off, like the same way it was with Harbaugh.
It's just like John Shire with Duke as well. They're the same exact way.
I feel like I'm watching a parallel for what happened the last 2 or 3 years of Harbaugh, where it was like, yeah, he's going to the NFL at some point. It's just a matter of when and when the right opportunity arises. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dusty May thinks Orlando is the right opportunity.
Except Harbaugh had, a reason a real reason to leave college football. Dusty May really doesn't.
Yeah. Just Michigan fans, get used to this. I don't think it's going to happen this year, but this is something you're going to have to worry about pretty much every offseason for the rest of Dusty May's tenure.
That's what RP just said in the YouTube chat. Yeah. Now we have another Harbaugh at Michigan every year.
Yes. 100%. You got to deal with this. Do you remember how annoying that used to get for the Michigan fans? Even like before all the Connor Stallions in the national championship year. It was every year dealing with, is he going to the NFL? Is he not? Do we have to get him to sign a contract extension? It got really annoying.
Well, and look, man, it makes sense because Dusty May just fits an NBA coaching style, man.
Yes.
He
Oh,
does.
yes.
He has like the calm coolness to him. He's not like a gritty, yelling, screaming at his guys. He gets along with his players in a feels like they're friends. Not saying that the gritty guys don't get along with their players, because certainly they do.
Because JB does.
But his style is just he's an NBA style coach, especially the way he builds a roster, stuff like that. So interesting to see if the Orlando Magic will make a heavy push for him. But yeah, I would think that Dusty May at least stays at Michigan for this year. But he's won a national championship. So, like, what other goals is there for guys at that level?
Yeah.
If they do have NBA interest. Who knows? Either way, Jamal Mosley, though, fired this morning following the Game 7 loss to Detroit last night. Pistons, Cavs. Let's talk about the dates for this series because they're all out. And it's going to be every other day, finally. It's the one thing I hate the most about the first round of the NBA playoffs. It takes so damn long to get over it. We finally are here now that we're in May. Pistons-Cavs Game 1 will be Tuesday the 5th tomorrow at 7. That's on NBC. Then Thursday at 7 on Prime. Then they will flip it back to Cleveland on Saturday at 3. That's also on NBC. And then Monday at 8. So every other day after that, we'll have not knowing what network these series will be on, but it's on NBC for games 1, 3, and 4. It's on Prime for game 2.
Are you sure there's not a Peacock game where it's a Peacock exclusive?
There, you can watch it on Peacock, but I believe these are all on NBC and Peacock for games 1, 3, and 4.
All right.
With TBDs on the game 5, 6, and 7. So who knows if we'll see them? Hopefully we will, because I don't think the Pistons will sweep the Cavs, but like you said, they are the favorites, so that's pretty big. Let's take the rest of the time in the news here to talk about the other series. I know we did discuss them a bit frequently here, but they're all done. Second round is set. We do have games tonight. Knicks versus Sixers, Game 1. Very excited for this series. The 76ers, of course, joining the Pistons. They were the first to do it, actually, of coming back from 3 games to 1. 2 times in the same playoffs. This has only been done 15 times ever, and this is the first time it has been done twice in the same playoffs. 3 versus
twice in the
7.
same round. It's the first time in the same round.
Sorry, twice in the same round, yes. 3 versus 7, Knicks Sixers tonight. Knicks are 7.5-point favorites in Game 1.
I got to admit, I really enjoyed watching Joel Embiid in that closeout game in Game 7, because this is the guy who notoriously is not considered soft, but soft tissues, has had a ton of injuries with those. Couldn't stay healthy forever. Never played in...
And he got appendicitis on top of it.
Never used to play in Denver, always ducked the Jokic thing. So, I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan of Embiid for the longest time. But after everything he's been through, watching him give it everything that he had, laying it all out on the line in Game 7, I thought it was pretty cool. It really was. Now, do I think he can hold up for another series? No, not really, because you could already see it at the end of Game 7. His body starting to give out on him again, which is that's just the story of Joel Embiid, unfortunately. But to see him, even do that, I thought was pretty cool.
I thought so, too.
Never been to a conference finals. A lot of guys trying to get to a conference finals for the first time.
Imagine if it's Cavs Sixers, 2 guys who just historically can't get there, which Embiid is way worse just because he's an MVP of the league, but then the other side, Timberwolves versus Spurs, Game 1 tonight. That's at 9:30. Anthony Edwards, questionable to come back in this one. Would be pretty awesome if he suited up. And Ayo Dosunmu, also questionable. 2-seeded Spurs versus 6-seeded Timberwolves. The Spurs are 12.5-point favorites tonight.
We need Ant to come back as soon as possible for this to be a competitive series.
This series is going to rock if Ant is healthy. I'm
and if
super
not, it could
excited.
be a sweep.
Sure, it could be. But I'm just saying, it's going to be fun if Anthony Edwards plays.
We just need Anthony Edwards to come back and be like, you know what? I'm actually going to dunk on Victor Wembanyama and just decide it and just go at him.
Ant killed San Antonio in the regular season. So
Ant kills a lot of teams. It's kind of his thing.
Yeah, that's
kind of a killer.
We really need Anthony Edwards to be back, man. He is just he's cinema to watch here in the playoffs. The other series, of course, Pistons Cavs getting started tomorrow at 7, followed by Thunder versus Lakers. That's going to be a free throw heavy series.
There we go.
Hey, it's May the 4th, by the way, Ben.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
All right, 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on 100.9 The Mid. Don't go anywhere. 10 o'clock hour on the way. Want to work some Tigers in because, the injuries, they just won't stop piling up, and it's starting to take a toll on the team. That's when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
It's
You always be coming without no money, girl. Come on.
Electric Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, let's switch gears here. Let's go to some Detroit Tigers because we'll circle back to the Pistons. I promise. But the Tigers they're in a really unique spot right now. They're one game over 500. However, it feels like one injury after another keep piling up. First, it was just Zach McKinstry goes down. Well, first it was Parker Meadows, then it was Zach McKinstry, and then it was Javi Baez. Now it's potentially Gleyber Torres, who hasn't hit the IL yet, but it doesn't seem like he's going to be playing anytime soon right now. So who knows how long the Gleyber injury ends up taking. The Javi one's going to be a little bit. Parker Meadows, that's also going to be a little bit. Zach McKinstry feels like he's able to come back sooner rather than later. But then you look at even the pitching staff. It's like, okay, Casey Mize out for the time being. Justin Verlander, not getting any better at all. Will Vest just hit the IL. Kenley Jansen avoids the IL, but is banged up and considered day-to-day right now. Honestly, Kyle, it feels like them being one game above 500 is somewhat of a miracle. This team has been good, I think. The wins just haven't come. I think Riley Green and Torque, who hit another home run yesterday, and McGonigal have all been spectacular. It's just they've had one massive problem, and that's been the bullpen, not being able to generate strikeouts or close games for the most part, or at least it's affected a lot of their losses. I ultimately think this team's going to be fine, but I also wouldn't be shocked if they went into a little bit of a slip here if they're going to deal with this amount of injuries for the foreseeable future. Like, hopefully this Glaber thing isn't long, but he got pulled from yesterday, or was that Friday night's game? Yeah, Friday night's game with like a side oblique thing. That would be a pretty detrimental injury. That's a guy who's in the lineup every single day. You're already down an infielder, 2 infielders really, with McKinstry and Baez. To lose him, all of a sudden you're dealing with Hao Yu playing every day, who's been fine. Zach Short got called up. There's just a lot going on right now for the Tigers. And I wouldn't be surprised if it started to show in the win-loss column eventually. Now, luckily, before the Glaber thing, and I guess Javi's kind of ropes where he's considered to. It hasn't been any of their stars yet. It hasn't been Green and McGonigal and Torque and I guess Carpenter.
And Skubal and Framber Valdez. Yeah,
luckily, they've been lucky in that.
That's the best part about it. Like, certainly the injuries are concerning, but none of their superstars, none of their best players on the team have been injured yet. Now, the amount of them, it might be just as concerning about losing like one of their better players. Because even like Vest and Kenley, the pen hasn't been amazing, and those two guys specifically have had their struggles. You'd rather have them healthy than not. And Kenley and Torres are now just on the roster while being injured, because it seems like Glaber's definitely not hitting the IL. That's what Hinch kind of alluded to yesterday. And Kenley Jansen, he would have hit the IL if they wouldn't want to waste time on that. They'd want to bring another guy to be a part of this bullpen. So he'll just be injured for now on the team, and it's just going to be something that doesn't last a full 10 days for him and Glaber. The Zach Short stuff is interesting. It sounds like he is strictly being called up and reacquired by the Tigers just to play today. Today is a scheduled day off for Kevin McGonigal, and they don't have anyone else to play shortstop. So Zach Short got called up in place of Jace Young to strictly face a left-handed starter today for Kevin McGonigal to rest.
By the way, you just gave every Tigers fan who wasn't paying attention this week PTSD. They're like, wait, who's back? Zach Short's back?
Short.
Yeah, one of the
Don't
worst
worry.
Tigers we've had
Not
in
as bad as
history.
Ryan Kreidler. Like,
It's up
probably
there.
as bad, but Kreidler just was here for long. It felt like Kreidler was more, because he had like 5 different years of being called up every year. And it was like, oh, here's Ryan Kreidler. And then they started playing him in center field, and it was just like the worst thing ever. Yeah, Zach Short, just a terrible name for Pistons fans, one that haunts you. So he'll be playing shortstop today for Detroit, just because they don't have anybody else who can play it right now, which is just showing how this roster is currently injury-wise, which is obviously concerning.
How many games do you think Zach Short has played for the Tigers in his career?
He was here for that whole season, right?
He's here for multiple seasons.
But he was he played for the full season, I'm pretty sure. He's probably played a lot more games than I've realized. How many? I don't really have a good guess.
178.
Yeah, over a full season's worth.
172 batting average, 575 OPS. He's just on the team right now. He's back. After being cut and DFA'd and traded away to multiple times, he somehow has made his way back into Tigers fans' lives.
Which, that adds on top of, how come Zach McKinstry's not back?
Yeah, he had a start in Lakeland.
Exactly.
And then he had a start in Toledo.
His process might be, how is he not just playing shortstop today and back? That's just the one part that I'm a little oh, man, maybe this McKinstry stuff isn't as good as we thought either. And the Glaber stuff, yeah, he's not being put on the IL, but it would kind of stink if he just it doesn't play for a week, yet is taking up a roster spot.
The McKinstry thing's weird, though, because he's already gotten a start in AAA. It's not like he's just down in Lakeland still recovering. He's playing in He's played a game in AAA, so I guess I'm a little bit confused as to why he's not back yet as well.
Maybe they just not think he's ready to come back. It has to be that. Gary in the YouTube chat says, Kenley Jansen injury suspect after blowing 2 saves and all of a sudden a groin injury, in quotes.
Yeah, this is like the high school football player who screws up a play and you give up a long touchdown and then he's like,
oh, my arm.
I can't get up. My hamstring.
I threw out my shoulder on that pass.
Yeah, it's like, oh, suddenly you're hurt. No, I think Kenley's actually hurt.
Yes.
I'd certainly choose to believe he's hurt.
It would be kind of messed up if he wasn't.
And if he wasn't, then maybe there's some bigger problems with Kenley Jansen than some of his stuff is down. But honestly, it's not a good thing that he's hurt, but it at least makes me feel a little bit better about why he's been bad.
Same
you
with
know?
Will Vest, too.
Yeah, like Will Vest was struggling there for his last couple outings, and then, oh yeah, Will Vest was dealing with something, and now we're putting him on IL. All right, that seems like, I'm not sure why you kept him off the IL for that long, but sure, at least I feel a little bit better that he can bounce back when he comes back. It's just, man, they cannot afford another injury right now. They simply can't.
Yeah, because the Javi stuff is going to last a lot longer than the 15-day IL, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And the Casey Mize one is the really interesting one where we don't really have a lot of information on that. Now, the pitching by Chaos certainly did work, and Kiner Montero has been good as a starter, so that makes things feel positive. But
It's
Casey,
kind of fun. A little blast from the past yesterday.
It was fun. I'm with you. Jack Flaherty still stinks, and they need Mize. Like, they just absolutely need him because Troy Melton can't come back for 3 or 4 more weeks. So the fact that Mize, we don't know how long he's going to be out, that to me is the most concerning injury. And then you have the 2 bullpen guys who, yeah, they haven't been great, but you'd rather have them healthy than not. The middle of the infield is going to have Zach Short and Hao-Yu Lee in the middle of it today.
And Hao-Yu Lee's been fine, but
sure, but like that's the middle infield in the first week of May. That just shows how injured this team is right now.
Yeah, it's not good. It's grim. And honestly, like the fact that they're, again, tied for first place in the AL Central, 1 game over 500, it almost feels like a blessing to be in that spot right now. But then you look around the rest, like that's kind of the thing that the Tigers do have going for them, that they play in the AL Central, because you look around the American League and there's just not a lot of teams that are popping off in terms of their record, which might make everybody pretty aggressive at the deadline, like might make for a pretty competitive deadline. Unfortunately, the Tigers might not take part in that because they play in the AL Central and might just feel like they can win it regardless, and they won't have to compete for a wild card spot.
Well, you're right. You could view that as a down thing, but I think that the Tigers have moved past, despite not winning the division, their outlook should be a little bit further than just winning the AL Central and getting into the playoffs, which I think
I'm
it
with
is.
you, man. I'm with you.
I think it is, too. But, yeah, that's the one part, because you could say, like, fans could hear you say, well, they're only 1 game above 500, and it feels like a blessing. What, they're 1 game above 500. But look at the American League. Like, not that many teams are above 500, man. There just is not a lot of them. The Tigers are one of 5 right now in all of the American League that are above 500.
Crazy. 1/3 of the entire league is above 500. How many teams are 500?
Well, none of them right now. But there's a lot of them that are like 1 or 2 games under.
10 teams under 500.
There's 2 teams that are 1 or 2 games over as well. So, like, there's only 2 teams that are well above 500 in the American League. It's very wish-washy right now. The Tigers have been trying to work their way out of it, and every time they seem to gain some momentum for that, another injury pops up.
Yeah, luckily this upcoming homestand, they play Boston, who just fired their manager and has been off to one of the most miserable starts in all of baseball so far this year. So hopefully there's another opportunity.
And their star player, young star player, just like...
Not as good as Kevin McGonigal.
Not as good as anybody.
Which is crazy because he was the only guy that was awesome during the WBC.
I know. That is really weird to think about,
I don't
actually. Yeah.
understand that one.
So World Baseball Classic doesn't matter?
Don't say that. You're gonna hurt my soul. I really want it to matter. I'll never drop that. I really want it to matter, but it feels like I'm in the minority, and most people just don't care about it.
Yeah, Roman Anthony with a 681 OPS right now with just 1 home run in the season.
Our guy could never. I was thinking about this yesterday because we were at the Pistons game, and then we were listening to the Tigers on the way back, and McGonigal was making some nice plays defensively. He turned 2 double plays, I think, back-to-back innings.
Had a couple ribbies as well.
Yeah. Kevin McGonigal and Cade, just both coexisting. If you could only keep one of those guys, who would it be?
Oh, I don't want to do that.
I'm making you.
I don't want to do that.
Just as a 1 second, like, we're not doing this as a topic. That's for a summer date, but, like.
Cade. Gotta be.
Kyle hates Kevin McGonigal. 99.
But also, hey, you know another thing we should do, by the way?
Sure.
We should, what city has the best duo?
Like in all of sports.
And we probably just have to take New York and LA out of it because they have way too many teams. Like the teams that all just have like 3 or 4 major sports. Best
would it be
duo
duo
of athletes.
or would it be like
the best top 2 athletes?
Or would it be 2? I don't even think McGonigal would be.
No, you're right, because we'd have Scooble and Cade. Yeah, you're right. Maybe this is a
Like
conversation
Panay
for another
Sewell
day.
too. Maybe it's just like Mount
It's
Rushmore.
Scooble and Cade, man. Panay Sewell. Dude didn't even go to the Lions or the Pistons game.
I don't know what you're doing right now. This anti
Dude didn't go to the Pistons game.
I'm
Where
not-
was he?
I don't know what
Wait, where was
whatever
he?
you're doing. We do not accept
Where was
Panay Sewell
Panay
slander on
Sewell?
this show.
Where was he?
We don't accept Panay Sewell. No.
J-Mo,
End of
Gibbs,
conversation.
St. Brown.
We do
Where
not
was Sewell?
accept Panay Sewell slander on this show. Panay Sewell is a saint sent to us from the gods show. That is who Panay Sewell is.
Go to the Pistons game then.
He's I guess I have no idea where he lives in the offseason. 989-837-6125. Dow proudly rooted in Midland and making an impact all around the world. Innovations that create cleaner solutions for water, safer homes, and more sustainable futures. A company built on science, but built and driven by people with thousands of employees who call this community home, supporting local schools, events, and nonprofits because being a good neighbor matters. From the lab to the Little League field, Dow is invested in the places we live, work, and play. Dow solving with science and standing with community.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The
You always be coming without no money, girl. Come on.
by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Myth.
Do you believe that the Pistons can win the Eastern Conference? I don't think it's off the table. Typically you need some experience. You need a lot of things to win an Eastern Conference. Yet, I think the number one need is a superstar. You need a superstar to make it out of the East. Well, the Pistons have that. Check. Do they have the playoff experience? No, I wouldn't say that, because they lost last year in the Eastern Conference first round, and then they played 7 this year. So 13 games between the 2 series. It's kind of like playing in 3 series. Maybe you could make that argument. I think nonetheless, though, the biggest reason being Cade Cunningham for being able to go to the finals. The second biggest reason, I don't think there's a scary team left in the Eastern Conference. And the only team that's favored over the Pistons to make it out of the East, they swept in the regular season pretty handedly.
It's when you look at the other teams left available, that's why. Like, Boston was always the team, right? Going in, you're nervous about Boston, and maybe we should have reconsidered that thought based off of the roster that they put out there for a lot of those games. I mean, they have a lot of players that would not see any PT on the Pistons, and so depth-wise, you felt that Detroit's team was way better. But Boston has that playoff pedigree. And do any of these teams have the playoff pedigree? No. None of them have been, been to the finals. The Knicks have the most. They went to the conference finals. Like, that's pretty big. None of them have been to the finals. James Harden hasn't been to the finals since you and I were 10 years old.
He was the third best player.
So
now he's being relied upon in a much bigger way.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the interesting part about this Eastern Conference is a lot of these teams have gone on playoff runs. The Sixers and Cavs have never made it out of the series that they're currently in. I mean, the Cavs obviously have when they had LeBron James, but in a post-LeBron James era, Sixers, of course, have not. And the Knicks went to the conference finals last year. So history right now would tell you the Knicks are going to the finals. And that's why they're the favorites. But the Pistons have to beat Cleveland first. And that's the matchup that I still haven't really thought about that much from how confident I am. Because going into the playoffs, I told myself Pistons-Cavs series, I'm not that excited for that. I don't love it for the Pistons. And after round 1, I kind of think it's a better matchup than Orlando. Does that sound crazy to say? Who's guarding Cade?
Max Strus?
At least the Magic had to go for him. Franz Wagner is a pretty good Cade matchup. And then he went out, and look what Cade did. Jordan Tyson is going to be the guy guarding Cade. That, it's just going to be interesting to see, 1, how Cleveland adjusts to Cade Cunningham, and 2, will the Pistons be able to handle the Cavs' bigs like they were able to overcome with Orlando's bigs?
So can I tell you my biggest worry with this team, with this matchup with Cleveland?
Because I've been thinking about Game 7 too much still. I haven't really thought about the next series yet.
You better start because it's tomorrow.
I know. Can I celebrate just a little longer?
Yeah, I'd give it until 3 p.m. today.
That's the hard cutoff.
Yeah. My biggest concern with this Cleveland team is, are we going to be able to take their double bigs off the floor by spacing the floor? And I feel like the answer is no. Obviously, leaving the first round, it's not like you feel better about the Pistons shooting, even though Tobias and Danis were great in Game 7. For the most part, throughout the course of the series, not good shooting from the outside. And if that's going to be the case, and you're not going to force Cleveland to, guard the three-point line, it's going to allow Evan Mobley and Jared Allen to just kind of roam in the paint. I would imagine Jared Allen's just going to guard whoever the center is, whether it's Duren or Stu or Paul Reed. And I would imagine they're just going to put Evan Mobley on Asar Thompson and let him linger around the basket. That's concerning because Evan Mobley's won DPOY less than 2 years ago. And that's not a guy I want just lingering around the basket. Orlando didn't really have, they don't have true shot blockers. Wendell Carter Jr. played good in the first half of the series. Paolo's an awesome big. Evan Mobley is a shot blocker, a 7-foot guy with a really long wingspan. That's going to have a little bit more of a toll on Cade Cunningham than just a big physical center like Wendell Carter Jr. in my mind. So not being able to space the floor out and get their bigs away from the rim, that's my biggest concern heading into a Cleveland series. It's not Donovan Mitchell or James Harden. I think Asar will be wreaking havoc on both of those guys. But it's the Pistons offense, which comes as no surprise.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty obvious. Now, the good news is, if that is your concern, the Pistons offense, well, let's look at the opposing defense. Because in the playoffs, the Magic's defense was better than the Cavs. And in the regular season, the Magic had a better defense too, defensive rating-wise. Like, Cleveland was this defensive identity group under J.B. Bickerstaff, and that's like the reason they fired him, because their offense was so gross. And so they bring in Kenny Atkinson, change things up a little bit. Yeah, their offense is pretty good. They shoot a lot of threes. They've switched things up. Their defense took a hit. They were a middle-of-the-pack defense this year. Pistons' number one defense in the playoffs right now, by the way. Probably helps when the other opposing offense was so bad.
It was bad because the defense was so good.
It was also so bad, though.
It was also so bad. They couldn't hit a shot to save their lives in Game 7.
Yeah, so, like, if that's your worry, is the Pistons' offense, I feel like, is Cleveland going to be able to take away Jalen Duren the same way that Orlando did? Are they going to sell out to stop Jalen Duren? Or is Jalen Duren just kind of... Is it too far gone? I don't really know. He had a good game. Like, I don't want to sit here and act like he's a bad player now. He had a great Game 7.
I think Orlando kind of laid out the blueprint on how to slow Jalen Duren down. And I feel like it's more of 10 points per game Jalen Duren than it is 20 points per game.
But then is it like, okay, guess what? Cade Cunningham also flipped his switch of being the second leading scorer in the playoffs. You know, like Cade can be the score first guy.
Yeah, well, then you're just relying.
If you're going to take away Duren,
then you become reliant on Tobias Harris and Danis Jenkins scoring, which they had to, and it worked out for them in the first round. Is it going to work 2 rounds in a row? I don't know.
For him. Yeah, exactly. That's the sketchy part. Joe in the YouTube chat says, I do believe they can and will win the Eastern Conference. Gary says, the Knicks seem to have our number based off of last year's playoffs. Brunson frustrating, but owns us. I would say they are the biggest hurdle.
I would agree. Like, they have to be, right? They're the favorites. They beat us last year in the playoffs. As much as I love to bring up the regular season sweep, we got to beat them in the playoffs before we can say we have an edge over them. I do think we are way more equipped to guard Jalen Brunson this year versus last year. I think Asar has taken like another not just.
I do think so, but man, Brunson was so good last year.
I know he was, series, but I think Cade and Asar have both taken tremendous leaps forward as a defender. Like, man, like as much as we talk about Cade scoring 30 and 60 over 60% from 3 in the final of 3 elimination games, the defensive effort from this guy is on another planet compared to the other stars that we have left in the playoffs. Truly, I don't think. I look around the East, and I know I've said I think Cade's the best player left, but best all-star best defensive all-star left in the Eastern Conference. I don't think Mobley was an all-star, right? Is he an all-star this year? I don't think so. They were struggling.
I thought he was.
Maybe
I could be wrong.
It's nobody on Philly. It's not a defensive juggernaut team. It's nobody on the Knicks, although OG's great, but he's not like an all-star type of guy. It's Cade. It really is.
Yeah, you're right. He was not an all-star.
We'll see what ends up happening. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We talk about having the home field advantage all the time. The Pistons have the home court advantage throughout the rest of the Eastern Conference playoffs, which is nice. Well, if your home or business uses propane, the company with the advantage is Forward Energy. Since 1925, they've been serving our local community with propane and fuel solutions for homes and businesses. Local people, reliable service, that's Forward Energy, part of the home team.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The. By Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Gotta do it. Never have a show without it. It's time to get some football in and work a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
By the way, I just randomly thought of this, and I feel like I haven't said it in a really long time, but if you haven't subscribed yet on YouTube, please do. We love watching that number count continue to grow. 1.39K right now. If we could get that to 1.4K by the end of the show, that'd be awesome. So if you enjoy the show, if you've enjoyed the Cade Cunningham talk so far today, please go ahead and like and subscribe. All right, with that being said.
Man, I thought we were going to skip football today, man. I really did.
No, come on.
I really thought we were. I thought around
Never.
the league we were just going to talk about the other playoff series, maybe do one of those, you know. It's okay. I like football.
I'm also realizing I linked the wrong thing into... Oh, no, I didn't. I found it.
Nope, he found it.
All
Don't
right,
worry,
here's
folks,
what we
you
got
it.
today. There's a lot of free agents left. Free agency, even though the draft has happened, free agency's not over. We have a lot of guys that are still on the market that are notable names, and I want to go over the best fits. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to score 2 points. There's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How about if you score 1, you win? Eight
I need to get 1 out of 8? What am I guessing?
8 players remaining in free agency, their best fits. You have to align with this writer from NFL.com.
Oh, so I have to
Okada.
pick the team.
Yeah. Your first guy up.
That is kind of hard then.
So you only have to go 1 for 8.
Let me pull up the teams at least.
The first person, wide receiver for the 49ers last year, Juwan Jennings, who was sneaky productive last season and could probably be a pretty good contributor as a wide receiver 2 or 3 on a good team with some aspirations. Or, a crappy team could convince themselves he could be a wide receiver 1 and he could put up big stats on a garbage team. So what do you think? Where would be a good fit for Juwan Jennings?
I think he's sneaky pretty solid. He just can't really stay healthy. And he has like the injuries that are always like the lingering ones that he will be questionable every single week. He had like 3 different rib injuries last year. Kind of a frustrating guy to have in fantasy.
And it like plays for the Niners, so like Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle will always be those 2 premier guys in the offense.
Who could still use a wide receiver? That's the part that is obviously the Patriots are going to be the one team that you think of. Oh, they need a wide receiver. The team that I was wanting to pick here, but they took 2 guys in the draft was the Cleveland Browns. But the Browns took 2 receivers. So, I'm not going to pick them. The New York Jets took a receiver in the first round, too. That was maybe going to be my team. Because I was just thinking maybe a young team that could use a vet receiver.
Think differently, then.
But
that's not what this is.
I decided to switch it.
Okay.
I know they drafted Jeremy Bernard, former Michigan State Spartan. I'm going to rock with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's going to be my pick.
Not a bad choice. That feels like more of the same of just like, we'll just bring in mediocre receivers.
Really, I think Jennings is better than the mediocre guys I think Jennings is pretty good.
You know where he'd be pretty good? Is Seattle, and that's the team that's listed.
Oh,
that'd be a nice
what?
wide receiver 2,
Seattle?
wide receiver 3 for Seattle. Cheap.
They
nice
got Rashid
addition.
Shaheed, man.
It's true, but he's kind of a one-trick pony.
What happened to Cooper Kupp? Is he still a free agent, or is he back in Seattle? I don't really know what happened to him. He certainly didn't sign with another team. I would have seen that, but I think he might just still be a free agent, which would be pretty sad.
No, he wasn't he wasn't up for a new contract. He's just still.
Oh, he was on a multi-year deal.
Yeah.
Okay, Seattle, sure. RP guessed the Bills. Sorry, it looks like we're both wrong.
Calais Campbell, defensive lineman. This one's hard. We can skip over it.
Can I quickly guess a team?
Sure.
The Panthers.
No,
Dang it.
it was the Bills. Okay, how about this one? A team who needs a little bit of help on the edge, which is sneaky. No longer the Lions. Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa.
Wait, what? Did you think you spoiled it by saying the player's name?
I did.
Okay, a team that needs some help on the edge. To me, right?
I'll give you a little bit more than that.
For
too.
me,
that wants to be better than they were last year.
that screams the Cincinnati Bengals. So that's my pick.
Not a bad choice.
Oh, really?
It's a team that's looking to take a little bit more of a leap than the Cincinnati Bengals, who are already like
And the Bengals went to a Super Bowl before.
Yeah. It's a team that's trying to get out of the gutters.
Oh, like
Who's
they're
like
taking
ready
a
to
leap
start
of
winning.
They're taking a leap of like we suck.
Yeah, but
and
now
we don't want to suck anymore.
And this is the first year that we can go pick up some wins and surprise some people.
Okay, to me, that team screams the Tennessee Titans.
Boom, there you go.
Okay, because, yeah, they feel like the team this year is like, hey, we sucked last year. We sucked the year before that, too. Let's not suck
Let's just
this
put together
year.
like a 7-win
And
season.
That'd
be
their
nice.
coaching staff screams that, too. Robert Saleh, Brian Dable, like, what, you're supposed to stink with that staff?
No, go
you
win
got two
7
former
or 8
head
games.
coaches on your team. Like, yeah.
How about this one?
Okay.
Deebo Samuel, who had a sneaky, really good productive year with Washington last year. It just, once Terry McLaurin was in and out of the lineup, you can't really rely on that person to be your
Deebo Samuel.
wide receiver one. Where could he go be a wide receiver? I'll call it a 3. Wide receiver 3.
Okay, so this team already has their wide receiver 1 and 2.
Yeah,
would you say this team needs a wide receiver?
No. I also wouldn't say either of their wide receiver 1 or 2s are like superstars by any means. Like, not even close.
Not even close.
They're good. Like, one of them's a good player.
Okay. So, okay. Are they going to use Deebo Samuel in like a fun way? Would you
I would
expect
imagine
this team
any
to?
team, yes,
But, like,
very fun way.
Okay, so the team that screams to me is the Chargers because is it them?
Yeah, you got it. Let's go.
Because yeah, like McConkey's fine. Well, like Quentin Johnston, they picked up his 5th-year option, which was like kind of surprising. I don't know if Keenan Allen is still on the Chargers. I think he's not. Maybe he's retiring. I don't know. And like, yeah, you have Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, I like this fit a lot.
Okay, I got my 1. That's all I care about.
Keenan Allen is a UFA right now.
Probably just going to do the same thing he did last year, right? Sit till the end and then go sign with the Chargers.
Or another team. Maybe he'll be on this list too. How about a good old friend of the Lions, Kevin Zeitler? Still available.
Oh, what team needs a guard?
Literally every team.
The Lions, maybe? Lions is my guess. Screw it. You wouldn't have done this list if there wasn't a Lions one on here, right?
There's not a Lions one on here.
Oh.
At least I don't know. It's the 49ers.
Come on, just go back to the Lions.
There's 3 more, and I will tell you right now,
The
Lions
49ers.
are not one of them.
Okay.
Hassan Reddick, the edge rusher. Who else needs a little bit of help on the edge?
Oh, who else is he going to screw over when he goes to their team?
Okay, here's this one. Here's another hint. Needs help on the edge, specifically in the first half of the season.
Oh, so like their current edge rusher's injured would be the way I would feel that way of. Is Micah Parsons still injured? Green Bay Packers.
There you go.
Final answer.
There you go. Only had 3.5 sacks last year and 62 QB pressures.
Woo!
Wait, actually, that's since 2024. He said,
Woohoo!
yeah, he's been
been riding the pine, dude. He doesn't play.
Yeah,
And he refuses to play. I don't want nothing to do with Hassan Reddick.
neither do I. Do you want something to do with another controversial player? Trevon Diggs. Not controversial that he does anything
he's just
off
chilling out there.
Yeah, big time interceptions guy.
Yeah, he's not like that controversial. I just think he's
polarizing.
yes.
because he'll give up.
The
The
guy
big
had
play.
a lot of interceptions one year, and everyone thought he was like awesome.
Nope.
Really wasn't. It got cut by the Cowboys, who need desperate help in their secondary. Like, that should say everything right there. Yeah, but somebody still needs corners, though.
Where would he go where cornerbacks should theoretically thrive?
Should theoretically thrive. So that, to me, screams like a cold place where the quarterbacks can't throw a ton.
No.
Okay.
Not the right. Not the right.
So a place that a place that is coached by a former DB, Aaron Glenn, New York Jets.
There you go. Which makes sense because they just gave up Sauce Gardner last year at the deadline.
Right.
So bringing a guy like Trevon, who's got a proven history that he can play well, like at least can put together, good games. I think that'd be a good fit.
There's not a ton of other DB former head coaches, huh? Like, now that I'm just thinking of, like, because he was the first one that popped in my head, but, like, I don't think there's a lot of them.
He's kind of the DB head coach.
Right.
Okay, last one. A guy who, early on in free agency, I thought could have been a nice lie-in. I no longer think they need someone like this. But David Njoku. Who's a team that...
Njoku's still a free agent, really. He was pretty good, man.
Who's a team that took a leap last year, but no one really believes in them to do it again, who wants to kind of establish themselves as, no, we're here to stay. We're not going anywhere.
What type of leap are we talking?
Last year, the leap that they took, they made the playoffs.
Okay. Carolina. It's got to be Carolina.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, who is their tight end? It's
They just need help in general.
Yeah, they have like a bunch of randos playing tight end for them. Yeah, that'd be pretty good, actually. That'd be a good landing spot for him.
And then it'd be Njoku and what was the rookie's name?
Ted
last year?
McMillan?
Yeah, and McMillan. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch
with, like,
as your weapons.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. All right,
Kenny
989.
Pickett as the quarterback?
What? 989-837-6125. They never paid Bryce, right? That never happened?
No, but I think he can be paid.
That is not a GM job I admire right now. That sounds like a terrible decision waiting to be made. 989-837-6125. Had to work some football in thanks to our friends at Around the League, as always presented by our friends at Aired Insurance. They understand not everyone's insurance needs are the same. They want to work personally with you to create something best suited for your needs. Whether it's life or home or auto or physical insurance, it's all available with the Aired Insurance Group with Farm Bureau Insurance.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The
The biggest winner from the first round of the playoffs, I think it has to be Tobias Harris. Although I will say, like, man, Cade was so special. And for him to take this leap that he's doing here in the playoffs, I mean, he was this good in the regular season, but he also wasn't like a score-first player in the regular season. And Orlando basically dared him to be. And he was like, all right, bet. And as soon as the games, became elimination games, final 3 games of the year, he's shooting over 60% from 3, which was always kind of the thing that was like, yeah, that's the lone thing missing from Cade's game, that and not turning the ball over. And he just like overnight, inexplainably, fixed both of those things, which I'm still having somewhat of a hard time figuring out how that was possible, how suddenly he became a 60% shooter in every elimination game that he played in this series. I don't get it. But when he's hitting those type of threes, he becomes unguardable, which is essentially what he was for the last 3 games of the season. Of the series. So right. I have a hard time selecting between Cade and Tobias. For as great as Cade was in the last 3 games, it probably just has to be Tobias, though, for having 5 straight 20-point games and then capping off with a Game 7 30-point performance. Has to be.
I mean, Cade being 11 of 18 from 3 in the final 3 games of the series.
Ungodly.
That's ridiculous. Down 3 games to 1, and the efficiency just takes a notch up. That's unheard of. It's always the opposite. Like, it is always the opposite. In a Game 7, in elimination games, when your back's against the wall in the playoffs, it's just harder to make shots. It just always is, especially for the superstar players.
Yeah, get to the rim, get to the free throw line, which he was also doing.
And, of course, Tobias Harris was as good as he was, but the Magic's game plan should have been as simple as, like, we're not letting Cade kill us, and yet he still did. And in Game 7, it didn't matter because everybody stepped up. Like, there was multiple, Danis Jenkins had the game that he did. Everybody except Duncan Robinson came to play and made shots. It's okay, Duncan. I still want you to take as many shots as you can. Hopefully next series will be better.
He was, 1 for 10 yesterday? Yet he still has an impact because when he's out there and catches the ball, they come flying out to contest his shot out there. And then he just, one dribble will get out of the way and get himself a nice shot, or it'll just basically take a defensive player out of the picture. Like, he's still important to be out there even when he's not hitting shots. And I thought that was kind of apparent yesterday. It was a poor shooting night for him, but he also still in an impact.
And there was a reason why in the second half, there was a lot of lineups with Danis Jenkins and Asar as the wings, or as the guys next to Cade, essentially. Like, Danis played an extremely high role yesterday, and if he can play at the level that he did, like, that's the reason why the Pistons weren't going to go get another guy at the deadline, because they were confident that Jenkins could be the second guard off the bench. And he had a great game, man. Like, that's why they felt that way. They felt positive about him. It took 6 whole games in the playoffs to get that out of him, but maybe it can spark something going into the next round.
It's blowing my mind that this all happened yesterday, and tomorrow there's a game.
Yeah,
for tomorrow the second round.
Tomorrow's show will be previewing Game 1. Like,
yeah,
and it's the weirdest part about everything with this Pistons group because they're the 1 seed, right? But it took them being down 3-1, backs against the wall, almost viewed as the underdog once again, to like get the full form out of them, to get Tobias Harris to have the games that he did, to get Cade to get unleashed. I'm just interested to see, like, could they just go up 1-0? They didn't have a series lead at all in round 1. They have yet to have a series lead with this core. They didn't against New York. Like, it's just interesting to think about. Are they capable of, like, taking the swing?
Like, basically playing as the favorites.
They're the favorites.
But they
the favorites, and they're going to be the favorites once again against Cleveland. Does it take them being this underdog version of themselves to actually unleash? I don't know. Maybe that was the final straw, like the Orlando series, like, okay, now finally, it just took them winning a playoff series to get all of that stuff out, and they can be normal now. But that's the most thing I'm interested for going forward with this team.
Yeah, that is an interesting point, because all of last year they were the dogs, they were the underdogs, and then this year they just like kind of embraced that mentality all of the regular season. And
nobody believes in us, yeah.
Yeah, and by the time the season ends, you have 60 wins, you're the 1 seed, and it's like, cool, now you're not the dogs anymore, man.
You can't be the underdogs when you're the 1 seed with 60 wins. You just can't be.
We saw the Lions go through this, right? Like, we saw the Lions go through, and it's like, okay, now everyone's blowing smoke up you guys. What are you going to do about it? And, there was a little bit of something similar that happened to the Pistons, where it's like, no, we play better when our backs are against the wall and when we're the underdogs and nobody believes in us. I think a lot of teams are better in that case. OKC's done a good job.
It feels
of
more
defending their
freeing.
title.
It's less pressure. You would think it's more pressure, but like when you're playing with almost nothing to lose, when you're down 3-1, yeah, there is stuff to lose, but like that's when you get unleashed. And the Pistons probably felt most comfortable playing in that version. Now it has to change. Now that you actually have won a playoff series, like they can't be the cool, fun, underdog young team anymore.
It's like when a team can't score for an entire game in football, and then suddenly on a 2-minute drill when you're down 7, you just like you're playing loose and you just go march up and down the field and score your first touchdown of the game. And it's like, how'd you do that? It's like, we were playing loose. We had nothing to lose. We got to go throw the ball now. Game plan's thrown out the window. We just got to attack.
It's the opening drive of the game, and you got the ball first.
Yeah.
You know, like,
what are you going to do?
And you're the better team. Like that's what it's going to come to here, which it is weird because this series, from a pressure standpoint, there is absolutely more pressure on Cleveland. Like, no doubt about it. I know Detroit is the slight favorites. It's close. We're not acting like they're heavy favorites by any means. But Cleveland has Donovan Mitchell as an impending free agent after next season. So hypothetically, if they lost early, him asking out would come now. You wouldn't want him to hit the open market and just lose him for nothing. He's not going to sign an extension. So if they lose this series, the Donovan Mitchell trade talks.
Wait, hold on. Why is he just not going to sign an extension?
Because that's already been reported on.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, I think he wants to. Maybe he would, but I think he wants to hit the market.
Okay.
But I mean, if they go on, maybe he would sign an extension if they won, or if they went to the finals or something. Then maybe he would. But it's from everything that's been reported, he's not going to with Cleveland. So if they lost early, he's going to ask out. They traded their how old's Darius Garland? 23. They traded their 23-year-old point guard for ancient James Harden, 1-for-1, straight up trade because it felt that they could help him win this year, strictly this year. They already fired JB Bickerstaff, who has the 1-seed team now that they're playing against in the playoffs. So they've already made a massive coaching decision that might backfire.
That's a fun story.
Right in front of their face. Like, the pressure's on Cleveland, no doubt about it.
And it's a team that's, struggled to get over the hump for 3 consecutive years in the playoffs with this group. Yeah, I'm with you that the pressure's on Cleveland.
Even though Pistons are favored and are the 1-seed and have home court advantage. Like, you would think the pressure would be on Detroit, but it's not. So that's probably a good thing for them.
Maybe. But as we just established, they play better when they're under pressure for some reason, which is both good and bad. It's like it's good that they can live up to the occasion in the biggest moments, but also and sometimes you can just go pummel a team, man. You don't have to let yourself get backed into a corner first.
Just go up 1-0. You know how cool it'd be to go up 1-0?
Yeah. It would be great.
I hate the feeling of being down in the playoffs, man. It's the worst because then every game is must win. You trick yourself.
You can't go down 2 games.
You can't go down 2 games to nothing. And yet the Pistons were down by 2 games.
and somehow won.
It was must win, but they still did it. That feeling as a fan, man, it just stings being down in a playoff series.
Yeah. You know what else is a really fun wrinkle to this? This is the second time that a Detroit team has played Cleveland in a postseason in the last 12 months, with the Tigers playing the Guardians last year too. And
little city rivalry.
It's really the third time with the Tigers playing Cleveland back-to-back years. It's the third time in 2 years that Detroit has played Cleveland in a sporting event in the postseason.
I think you'll see a good amount of opposing fans at each game these series. Cleveland, Detroit, just not that far. And the Loons are playing Lake County this week too, so that adds to it. More Michigan versus Cleveland.
I don't think I spotted a single Orlando fan at the game yesterday. Not one, which is good. Keep buying the tickets, Detroit. Keep buying the tickets. Keep everybody out. Keep the Clevelanders out of town, and then let's go invade Rocket Mortgage or whatever they call that arena now. I don't know what it is. 989-837-6125. 11 o'clock hour on the way. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, and we are live here on 100.9 The Mitt, embracing a Pistons win for the first time since 2008. They are moving on to the second round of the playoffs. It was a great experience. We'll continue talking about that game and the Tigers when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9.
The Electric Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Welcome back in. The 11 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Yeager Insurance. Life happens fast. And at Yeager Insurance, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted by people in the Great Lakes Bay region. That is Yeager Insurance. They're not just going to treat you like another policy number either. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yeager is the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people you can actually talk to. That is Yeager Insurance. They'll be there when you need them. Since 1940, they've been at it. What is the number one thing you think you've learned about the Pistons through 7 games of this playoffs? What's the number one thing you feel like you've learned?
About strictly the Pistons?
Yeah.
As a team? Like, can I do an individual thing?
Of course.
I think I 100% learned that the Pistons have one of them dudes. They got one of them ones in Cade Cunningham.
That's what I kept yelling at you during the game yesterday. I just kept going, we got a guy. We got a guy.
We have a superstar. Like, and I don't want to say, like, I didn't think they had a superstar going up to this series, but, like,
you got to do it in the playoffs.
You have to do it in the playoffs. And let's be frank. Last year, Cade in the playoffs, it was a disappointing first playoff series.
Yeah.
That's also like every young star player ever. Their first playoff series as an underdog usually doesn't go very well. There's a long history of that.
Yeah.
And
you got to taste the medicine.
Exactly. And now coming into this one, they're down 3-1, and Cade Cunningham has 24 turnovers in the first 3 games or whatever it was. Oh man, like maybe we don't have one of them ones. I didn't actually think that, but certainly those thoughts were lingering. And for him just to be the guy that fully put the team on his back, yes, Tobias Harris, they don't win this playoff series without Tobias Harris. So it's not like it was 100% on Cade. But with his Robin, his number 2, Jalen Duren, being as absent as he was in this playoff series, Cade absolutely turned into the superstar player that we've all wanted, the superstar player that the city of Detroit has not seen from a basketball perspective in a really long time. That was super reassuring to know that the MVP stuff we did in the regular season and the first team All-NBA stuff, that was real. That was real, warranted stuff because of how good he was in the playoffs. So that would be the number one thing that I learned was like, yeah, he confirmed my really biased thoughts that I had about him. I don't think they're as biased anymore.
Since 2020, looking at all the first overall picks, Cade has now made it onto the second round. Cooper Flagg, obviously he's not made the playoffs. Zachary Ristichet, getting DNPs for Atlanta. Victor Wembanyama has made it to the second round of the playoffs as well. Paolo Banchero, as great as he was, and as great as he's been in the playoffs, is yet to make it out of the first round. And Anthony Edwards has been to a duo of conference finals. That's a pretty great group of guys. Number 1 overall picks with the exception of Ristichet. And yet somehow Cunningham has like a real argument that he's the second best guy because Wemby's just, he's just something else. He's off on his own planet. The argument between Cade and Edwards is actually pretty fascinating because on one hand, Edwards is this like scoring guy, wants to score the ball, attack the rim type of player who then last year became like a lights out, one of the best 3-point shooters in the entire league. Also became basically Minnesota's point guard for a lot of the season and started making the right plays over and over again rather than scoring. Cade was always the score first guy who only wanted to score in high amounts when the team dared him to, and look what's happening. The teams are daring him to, and he's doing it. Maybe he can also take that 3-point leap that Edwards took last season as well. The battle between those guys is really fun for who's the second best overall pick, number 1 overall pick since 2020. I think Edwards probably still has the slight edge just because of the playoff experience that he has and the fact that he's been to 2 finals as the 2 conference finals as the best player. But like, man, Cade's got a chance to like really pass that this year. This year, he's got a chance to like unanimously walk his way into a top 5 player in the league conversation, especially with no Tatum, no Brown, no Giannis in the East. It's his to take.
I agree. I mean, it's based off of what we've seen so far in this playoffs, those other guys, Giannis, where is he? I mean, we haven't seen Giannis go on a playoff run in quite some time. Still an awesome player, no doubt about it. But, like, at some point, we have to look at the history. At some point, that has to matter.
And your age has to matter as well.
100%. And then Jason Tatum, I think when fully healthy, I think that he probably still is one of the best guys in the East. I don't know if he is the best anymore based off what we've seen from Cunningham. And that's going to be the really fun part about this series is these group of 4 dudes that all lead the 4 teams left in the East have all been kind of lumped together for some time now. And Cade should be separated from them. He should be the alpha from this group.
The 4 guards?
Yes. I mean, the 4 leaders of all these teams. Embiid, sure, for Philly, great. He played 30 games this year. Like, Maxi's their guy. You know?
Yeah.
Cade, Maxey, Mitchell, and Brunson, all 4 of those guys have been grouped together over the last calendar year for some time now.
And I would bet you every single one of their fan bases thinks that they have the best player.
I think so, right? And
there's at least a semi-argument for all of them.
That's what I was going to say. I think that there's a biased argument for all of that.
Yeah.
And Brunson has the best case to me personally. I think Cade and Brunson are above the other 2. That's just how I feel.
Why is I don't know, man. I don't know why I don't think Brunson's better than Mitchell. I'll just leave it there. I don't think he is.
It's interesting. And Brunson's certainly the better scorer.
Than Mitchell? I guess he was in the playoffs last year, yeah. Sure. But I don't know. I think Donovan Mitchell can get buckets with the best of them. And so can Cade at this point.
I think Brunson can too. I mean, like, that's an interesting way to grade it.
I think all 3 of these guys can basically get score
and then
at
there's
will.
Maxey, who's the fastest guy on planet Earth. Like, and no one can guard that guy in open space. So it's going to be fun to see just how we talk about Cade compared to those other guys, because you and I certainly have a feeling about Cade being the best one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people do. I think if you ask like the general public that, I think most people would put Cade at number 1, but we're really going to find out now.
Yeah. I think the reason I have Cade over all 3 of those guys is he's bigger and stronger than all of them and finishes at the rim better than all of them.
He's like way bigger than all of them, yeah.
And is a better passer than all of them.
And a better defender than all of them.
Yeah, so that pretty much should just wrap
now,
up
the other 3 are all better scorers than him, but also he's averaging the 2nd most points per game in the playoffs behind none of them.
Yeah, behind Shea, the
Yes.
MVP.
So, like, his only reason why he might not be better is he doesn't score as good as those other 3, yet he is scoring better than the other 3 in the playoffs.
Yeah. And if you're a Sixers fan, you're basically saying, well, Maxey's, I'd have to go look at the stats, but like lights out, elite 3-point shooter, fastest guy in the league, point of attack defender. If you're a Mitchell fan, it's like, yeah, this is years and years and years of this guy can get 30 in any playoff game.
He's been the
Same with
best guy
Brunson.
on his team in the playoffs every year of his career.
Yeah. And then Brunson's just, he's another guy who can get
Brunson's
30
gone
at will.
the furthest in the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's very interesting because whoever wins the East probably gets to say that about their guy.
As long as their guy is the reason that, like, now if Philly wins the East behind a crazy Embiid run and it's not really Maxey, then sure, whatever. But Philly winning the East, I mean, I just said that out loud. Yeah, never mind.
Who do you think's winning that series on the other side that starts tonight?
I think New York wins. I do
too.
I think there's just no way Embiid is healthy for 7 games.
He
literally wasn't last series either. Like, there's just no, like, he's been
played
great.
in what, 3 games?
I think he missed the first 3 games. So I think he played in 4 games.
He played in 4 games, and by game 7, it looked like this guy was like on his last life.
It looked like he had 3 new injuries suffered in game 7. Like, you think he's gonna be healthy tonight? Like, I don't even know if he's ready to go tonight. He's a game time decision every game. Yes, he probably will, but Philly's team is good. I think the Knicks win the series probably in 6. There's just no way Philadelphia stays healthy.
Yeah.
I'm playoff P is probably going to come out at some point as well.
And OG Anunoby has somehow looked like the best player in the Eastern Conference. For some reason.
Maybe we got to throw OG's name in this race.
And then,
except Cat versus Embiid, though. Wow, am I excited
get the
for
popcorn
that.
out, man.
Those guys used to have the most public social media beef of all time.
Yeah, calling each other some pretty crazy stuff. Like stuff that, we can't say on this microphone.
On the internet. Yeah.
It's just lived on. You can go down a
all
memory
that
lane
stuff
on
is
Twitter.
reliving now, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I can't wait to see those guys go at it again. And they're both a little bit older than they were, obviously, when all those fights started, because it was Cat when he was still in Minnesota. So maybe they've matured a little bit in their age, and I don't think Embiid is just going to want to fight just for the sake of it anymore, because that's expending energy where he needs it saved.
And he, like, you know, I feel like ever since he had his kid, which his kid Arthur is like the cutest kid ever, he's involved in like all the post-game stuff.
Is he the new, what was Tatum's kid's name?
Deuce.
Is he the new Deuce? Is he the new
He might
NBA
be.
baby?
He might be. Like, it feels like Embiid has matured a ton ever since like Arthur's been in the picture. So I think that's cool. But
We need more Riley Cunningham. We never see Riley Cunningham.
we do. That's a good point, man. That's a good point. Gary does say, tough for a Piston fan to acknowledge, but you got to give Brunson some respect. And and John, by the way, in the background, just
This is why I don't have any respect for Brunson, because every time we bring up his name, we got to deal with John doing these
Gary.
dances.
Come on, Gary.
989
You know what you were doing.
837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live on the mid. As always, 11 o'clock hour, brought to you by Yiter Insurance. Show brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Hey, Mid-Michigan, do your eyes feel itchy, dry, or irritated all day? That is not normal. Mid-Modern Eye Care and Dry Eye Clinic specializes in dry eye treatment that actually works. If your eyes burn, water, or feel tired from screens, they can help you get real, lasting relief. From advanced dry eye care to exams, glasses, and contacts, they have you covered. Stop dealing with the discomfort and start seeing more comfortably again. See better, feel better with Mid-Modern Eye Care and Dry Eye Clinic next to Kroger in Midland.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
So, again, congratulations to the Pistons who are moving on to the next round of the playoffs. I do want to touch a little bit more on this Tigers team who is just dealing with the most brutal set of injuries you could possibly imagine right now. Luckily, it has not been to any of their star players like McGonigal or Skubal or Riley Green or, I don't know, has Torkelson made his way back into that conversation now that he's tied for the most home runs on the team?
Into elite players? Maybe foundational. We'll give him that.
Sure. It hasn't been any of the foundational
but
guys.
also Gleyber Torres absolutely is a foundational guy, so maybe we should exclude Torkelson.
Yeah, Glaber's the worst of them. Javi's was playing most days, whether it was in center field or shortstop.
Yeah, like
and
he
then Zach
became
McKinstry was basically an everyday player too, in some degree.
It feels like each of them become more and more important based off of like as soon as Parker went down, it was like, oh man, Javi now is really important because he's the backup shortstop and probably your number one option in center field. And then as soon as he goes out, it's like, okay, Zach McKinstry now is super important because he's the backup shortstop and he could play third and this and that. Oh, he's injured. Oh, now Hao-Yu Lee is really important. Like,
yeah,
it's really weird.
It's getting worse and worse and worse with all these injuries that have happened. And honestly, like they're sitting one game above 500 right now. And if I were to told you all of those injuries were to have happened, and that's where they'd be sitting on May 4th, I think we'd all kind of take that. Like, yeah, you're going to deal with a crazy amount of injuries for an entire month. And you'll still sit above 500 by the end of it. It's like, okay, I think I'd be willing to take that. Now, with that being said, I am a little bit nervous that there's a dip coming because at some point, the lack of position players just catches up with you. And now you're dealing with, like, Zach Short or Jace Young or Hao-Yu Lee is, like, foundational parts of this lineup every single day, which, no offense to those guys, it's just a worse lineup when they're out there compared to when it's Javi in the 9-hole or Zach McKinstry in the 9-hole or Gleyber in the 2-hole. Like, the lineup's just worse right now than it was 2 weeks ago. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of a struggle offensively here coming up. Again, luckily it's not McGonigal or Green that are hurt, but man, we saw this last year. You need a full 9 guys contributing, not just 2 or 3 of them. And it feels like they're leaning a little bit more towards, or trending a little bit more towards, hey, we've got 2-3 guys that we can count on, and other than that, it's getting kind of grim here in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Gleyber Torres not being put on the injured list right away is like a sign that this isn't that bad.
Mm-hmm. That he'll be back in less than 10 days.
Right.
That's what that would mean, right? Like, he's not going to be gone for more than 10.
I think that's what that would mean. Now, the second that I see Zach Short, batting today, that's going to probably make me be like, okay, like, where's Gleyber Torres? Where's Gleyber Torres? And that doesn't really matter that much. He would have played today, I think, no matter what, because they don't have another shortstop. The thing I'm most, wanting is, can Zach McKinstry just get back on the team? We really need Zach McKinstry back right now. And
Zach Short didn't play yesterday, did he?
No, he did not. Well, Diddy didn't play either, but Zach Short did not play yesterday. The injury that is the most concerning that we haven't touched on is the fact that Casey Mize is on the injured list. Like, the Tigers have 3 good starters right now, and one of them's Kiter Montero. Right?
Yeah, who wasn't even in the rotation to start the season.
Skubal and Framber Valdez have been awesome, and Mize was right there with them. It was such a good trio to have. Like, I would argue maybe the best in all of baseball, and the best in the American League. I guess I'll go there. And then you had the fact that Jack Flaherty hasn't been good. Casey Mize is now injured. Pitching by Chaos is your day 5 starter in the rotation right now, which is fun. In theory, it's cool. I think A.J. Hinch has like a fetish for doing it. He's like, oh, wait, somebody got hurt? Oh, darn it. Now we have to do pitching by Chaos.
Now I get to go walk
now it's a bullpen day.
Now I get to walk to the mound 7 times.
Yeah, really get my steps in today. Yeah, he loves doing it, but it's obviously not something that you want to be sustainable all season long.
No.
And Montero's been good, and I don't want that to become like an expectation. I don't want it to be like, we need Kiter Montero to be the 3rd starter. That's not fair. Like, we should not have that expectation.
Too bad.
Because we also could it could flip at any given point. Kiter Montero wasn't supposed to be the 3rd best starting pitcher on this team, and here's why. Boom, he has a stretch of bad starts. Like, that would not shock anyone if that happened. And then all of a sudden,
he already did have a tough stretch.
not like a Jack Flaherty stretch.
Oh, cool. Nobody's having Jack
right.
Flaherty stretches.
And so that's what makes you most nervous about, man, if Casey Mize doesn't return before like Troy Melton returns, what do the next 3 weeks look like for the starting rotation? Because that's where my thought has gone with the Tigers injuries. The lineup stuff, of course, is real, and I'm with you on that. But the starting rotation stuff to me is much worse. I mean, we know how the bullpen days affect everything else.
Yeah.
You're doing really bullpen days today. You need Skubal to go 7. You need Framber Valdez to go 6, no doubt about it. You need the bullpen guys to be rested and the starters to have good outings. Puts more pressure on Kiter Montero. It puts more pressure on the guy who starts the game before the bullpen days.
Yeah.
Jack Flaherty.
Maybe he should be a part of the bullpen days. You and I have been screaming about this for years, it feels like. Since
maybe
he was
will
on the Tigers
Maybe he will be
time.
once everyone's healthy. But the phrase "once everyone's healthy" might just never exist.
Yeah, it feels theoretical right now.
Which it's baseball. It's a 162-game season. There's never really a time where you're fully healthy. It doesn't really happen. But the pitching staff is just depleted right now.
Hopefully Casey's back sooner rather than later. Groin injury. Melton coming back will be a big addition to the pen or the starting rotation as well. They could use him in numerous different ways. Verlander coming back is also just like the one that's like, yeah, I have no, like, what would you put the timeline for Justin Verlander's return? Because right now, you could tell me he's back next week or you could tell me he's back in July. And I don't think either one, like, I wouldn't have a lean one way or the other. I have no idea. They seem to not know anything about this guy's hip. Every time AJ Hinch is asked about it, he's like, yeah, I mean, he's not better, but he's also not worse. It's just taking a little bit. And it's just like, that's a non-update. But every time we get a non-update, I feel worse and worse about it.
Is it probably just because he's an old man in baseball terms thing?
It's 100%.
Like, it's just, hey, man, like, we're not, like, concerned about this being something he's done for the season, but it just takes him a while to get back to where we want him. Is that probably just what it is?
Yeah, but like,
now what takes a while?
Exactly.
What is that?
Well, what does that mean? I have no idea. Again, you could tell me next week or you could tell me July, and I wouldn't have a lean one way or the other.
Okay,
I'd probably say July.
I got a good one for you.
Okay.
Who pitches first in a return for all three of these guys? Casey Mize, Justin Verlander, or Troy Melton? Who Troy Melton just seems like he, no doubt about it, will return the second he's eligible to, which is May the 27th. So a little over 3 weeks.
I'm going to lean optimistic on Casey Mize.
That would be the best option.
Because he got put on the 15-day or the 10-day?
He got put on the 10-day, but they put him on the 10. I mean, he hasn't even done like anything yet.
Yeah.
Like we haven't gotten any update on that.
Well, he might not need a rehab start. It's just a groin injury.
Right, but he certainly needs to have like a
bullpen day.
Tossing. Like, the updates with them, they'll be like, he's throwing around a baseball.
Yeah.
Like, we kind of would, even one of those would be kind of cool.
We get him twice a week.
Yeah.
I don't know what days they come. I'm going to say 3 more weeks without Verlander is essentially what you're asking me?
Yes. Which sounds terrible, but like when you think about it, it's like
there's no sign.
There's no sign, and he's already been out for like nearly a month at this point.
Over a month. He pitched in March. That was his only start.
That was all the way back in March?
It was the last day of March, I think. I mean, it was the second series of the year.
Man, we're already in May, man. May the 4th be with you.
I'll say Melton. I just don't feel good about Verlander right now coming back, and that's just a gut thing. It's not.
Yeah. So Mize, Melton, Verlander would be who we see.
Yeah. What would be yours? I mean, if Melton's the first guy who actually comes back, that's a problem because that means Casey and Verlander are just not healthy.
Yeah, I would lean Mize as well. Like I would hope so. We just haven't really got much update on that, but that could be a good thing too. It's not like he left with some serious thing. Like,
that's what I was just about to say.
They weren't that cautious about it.
You couldn't even watching the replay from every angle see anything of grimace or anything. It was just like, yeah, he said something and we took him out for precautionary reasons.
You just have to do that, especially in May and in April. Like, you just have to play it that way.
It's not like he was limping or walking a funny way. He just trotted off the mound and then walked to the dugout.
I would say KC too.
That's the hope and that's the dream.
I have a quick question for you if you're done with your Tigers thing.
Sure. Yeah,
just a quick pivot. We have a YouTube chat from earlier that I thought was kind of interesting to touch on. Since we talked about the Dusty May thing potentially to Orlando earlier, RP in the YouTube chat asked, hot take coming from a Michigan fan. Do you think Dusty coaching in Florida and the Magic job opening means that there might actually be some mutual interest since Dusty May turned down all other NCAA jobs? And he, when all that was rumored, he said, I never was interested in the North Carolina. He didn't say the North Carolina job, but that was obviously the one. Mark Stein reporting that the Magic are interested in May. I mean, yeah, it's obvious for them to say that, but do you think there's any mutual interest there?
I think there's mutual interest for him to go to any NBA team. It's just a matter of when is the right time, what is the right fit. I think it's inevitable that this guy at some point is going to be coaching an NBA team. I don't think it's this offseason, though. I think he's too deep into this cycle to leave.
Right. But he's also, yeah, you're right. I think that is probably why. Just because it would have to be probably he takes a job from a team that didn't make the playoffs and fired their coach right away. Like the Bulls job would have been kind of the one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he already has filled out his team for this year. I mean, not only would that be, it's tough for him, it's a lot of wasted time, it screws over Michigan because then if they get a new guy, then all of a sudden all those guys who committed here,
I think it's going to be like, if he leaves, it's going to be
offseason.
like the Harbaugh thing where it's like they win the national championship and 4 days later he's an NFL coach.
But that's the take. That would be the reason why you would say maybe he does leave. He won the national title. What else is there to do?
I
back to back?
I think you're way too deep into this.
I think so too. I do agree with you. I do think it's interesting though. It's gonna happen at some point. It's just how early is it gonna happen? Because Harbaugh still had goals to accomplish at Michigan, like winning the national championship.
Yeah.
Not saying Dusty May doesn't have goals prior to this. He of course wants to win another one. Probably wants to do some other stuff too. But he has achieved the ultimate goal already at Michigan, and he's been rumored to have NBA interest. I think it's going to be fun to decipher this over the next couple off seasons.
You guys can see us live on YouTube right now. You can see our big, bright smiles that start at Scott Family Dental, where comfort, care, and clean teeth come in a standard. Locally owned by Brandon Scott, native of the Great Lakes Bay region, the business is family-focused. They treat patients of all ages like ones of their own. From routine checkups to whitenings, crowns, and more, they've got the tools and the gentle touch to keep your smile shining. Friendly staff, modern tech, zero judgment, even if it's been a while since your last visit. So go ahead and show off those pearly whites. Scott Family Dental has your back and your teeth. Go ahead and subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already by searching 100.9 The Mitt. Hit the news, do our 3 traditions to close out every show when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, Kyle Sandel, it's your time to shine. Take it away with the news. What's going on?
The Mets Morning Catch.
I got something for you if you didn't see it during this break.
All right.
Kevin McGonigal, your very first AL Rookie of the Month.
Ooh.
They combine March and April the first time they give the award out, so March counts towards April.
That seems about right.
328 OPS, 935, 328 average, 935 OPS, a 2.0 B WAR, tied for the most in all of majors during that stretch. It's insane.
Good job, Kevin.
Good
We're
job,
proud of
Kevin.
you. Probably not in the lineup today. Speaking of that, Tigers, Red Sox, they're kicking off their 3-game series today. I haven't really touched on that too much. 6:40. We haven't touched on that it's Scooble Bump Day. All right. Nice. We get a Scooble Bump Day in between the Pistons games. That's pretty fun. He'll be taking on the left-hander Peyton Tolley of the Red Sox. 6:40 first pitch here in Boston. Do they have a day off on Thursday this week, the Tigers?
Do. Yeah.
Nice. That works out. So, yeah, once it's back-to-back home series here, they'll hit the road for 2 series against Kansas City and the New York Mets. So this is potentially a really good stretch. We've talked about them being 500 for quite some time. You are facing 3 teams that are at the bottom of their division. The Royals have now been, the Twins have really been on a tough stretch. The Royals have taken 4th place over the Twins, but of course the Mets and the Red Sox have been pretty bad this season.
The 2 teams that had expectations to be good this year. That's the weird part. It's the part I don't really understand.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially the Mets. And the Royals too. They were supposed to at least be the 2nd best team. Okay, the NHL has also wrapped up their round 1 play this weekend. So let's go over who will be playing in the 2nd round in the Western Conference. It'll be the Colorado Avalanche against the Minnesota Wild. They're already actually up 1-0 in that series. That game 1 was yesterday. Game 1 of Golden Knights versus Ducks. That's tonight at 9:30. And then over on the east side, Carolina is up 1-0 on the Philly Flyers. Game 2 of that series is also tonight. And then game 1 of the Sabres versus the Canadiens is not until Wednesday. You got a favorite in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs?
Nope.
You got a team you're rooting for?
Nope. I'm like George Blaha with the play-in
so
tournament.
Enthusiastic, Ben.
I mean, if I told you anything, I'd be... It's out of my expertise. I have no idea what's going on.
It's out of your expertise. You just pick a team to root for?
I don't.
No, I'm not saying you have to.
Who's still left? Mammoth or Golden Knights? I'm rooting for the
Golden
expansion
Knights.
teams.
The Golden Knights. I mean, the Golden Knights. Yeah, they're not. They're pretty far removed from being an expansion team at this point.
I like the new
They
teams.
faced each other in round 1.
I know. I was asking who won. Yeah, I'll take the Golden Knights then. That's the team I'm rooting for. I like them.
RP says he's rooting for the Sabres. I'll do it too. Go
Really?
Sabres. Why not? I don't really have a team to root for either. As far as the updated AL Central standings, we might as well go over that since we were just talking about that. Tigers, Guardians tied at the top, 18-17. The Guardians have been 500 basically the whole season. They start a series with the Royals in division tonight. The White Sox are in 3rd, man. Look at the Chicago White Sox. They're 16-18 in 3rd. Royals in 4th at 15-19, and the Twins 15-20. So still everybody wrapped up within 3 games of each other. All 5 teams are in this division. Pretty funny. Okay, other stuff going on in the news. I already went over the Pistons games that they're playing this week, but we'll just reiterate. NBC for game 1 tomorrow night at 7. Prime Video on Thursday at 7. So we get 2 7 p.m. tip-offs on the weeknights, which are ideal. You don't think they're ideal. You're saying nothing. Okay, I guess I'll move on.
I like the 7 p.m. tips. I like them earlier as possible. 7:30, 7 o'clock is the most ideal for the East Coast folks out there.
Did you know that Cade's 227 points was the 5th most in a first-round series in playoff history?
Do you have the other names?
No.
Can I guess them? Oh.
No, I do not. But shout out to Cade for that. He's also the 6th player ever to have 225 points and 50 assists in any series ever, not just the first round. So Cade Cunningham's round 1 against the Magic, pretty ideal. Also, of course, when you go to 7 games, the totals stats are certainly going to be in your favor. A guy like Wembanyama is not going to have a case at that with the way that series went against Portland. Or Shea. I mean, Shea would have probably had a crazy series if that went 7. So, none of that happening.
Their series last year did go 7. And he put those stats
True.
together.
Yeah, that's a good point. We do have some sad news. I know John is, of course, going to be really saddened by this. John Sterling, the longtime radio voice of the New York Yankees, has passed away. One of the legends in not just broadcasting, but in baseball in general. So
he's the guy that does the Yankees win.
Yeah.
Which is, as much as I don't like the Yankees, pretty iconic.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, it's very cool. So rest in peace to John Sterling of the New York Yankees. Shohei Ohtani, he's gone hitless in 4 straight games, and that hasn't happened in over 4 years for Ohtani. I love how this is one of the headlines in sports right now. Ohtani, 4 games without a hit. It's like the world is ending, you know?
McGonagall would never.
After Ohtani had the longest on-base game streak for, like, almost his whole career, or, like, one of the longest ever in Dodgers history. So, very weird to see that flip around for Ohtani. I'm sure he'll be fine. Golf news, Cameron Young wins the Cadillac Championship yesterday in a major victory. He won by 6 strokes over Scottie Scheffler. Cam Young has been really hot this year. Of course, he was really good in the Masters. Did not end up winning. We have the Truist Championship at Quail Hollow this weekend, which is a pretty big PGA event. And then the following weekend, we're back into the majors. PGA Championship is in 2 weekends. I don't know if you saw anything from this event, Ben, but Cameron Young had a play. I mean, I don't really want to call it a play, but just had a time where he went in his backswing, and as he in his backswing, the ball like slightly moved, and he called a penalty on himself. He snitched on himself. It was like the commercial of the kid where he was like, "I touched the ball, coach," and then he goes and tells the ref that it was out on him. He got an official and said the ball moved. Like, he stopped in his backswing because the ball moved. He said the ball moved. I can't say if I was the one that moved it or not, but like I guess I have to take a penalty for it.
He took, even though it didn't move because of him, or did it move because of him?
They couldn't decide. I mean, it had to have moved because of him. Like, the ball was at a standstill, and then his backswing caused it to move. So it was decided that it was moved by him, and he took a penalty stroke for it.
And where did he end up finishing?
First place.
Oh, well, hey, there you go. Being truthful works out sometimes.
Yeah.
Good integrity, good honesty.
It really is, yeah.
I used to play pickup at a Y in Grand Rapids. And anytime someone would call a foul on myself, one of the old guys would just go, good honesty, good honesty.
Good honesty?
Yeah. It was a good bit. Good bit.
I've always been a call your own foul. Like, if you foul a guy, you got to call it.
Yeah.
You know? I hate when it's the other way around. That's my least favorite thing.
Yeah, I got to get like hacked to actually call a foul.
Yeah, if I get hacked, I'll call. But also, like, I feel like it should be known that I got fouled. Like, if you foul me, you should be saying, "Yeah, I fouled you."
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be the one to say you fouled me. Like,
yeah, no, I align with you there.
That's absolutely how I see it. We'll end the news with the Covenant Healthcare and Orthopedics injury report. Anthony Edwards in Game 1 tonight against the San Antonio Spurs. Game time decision. He has been upgraded to questionable. Of course, he was out for the back half of that series with Denver. It didn't matter. They're really needing him to come back because that series is going to be not so fun if he doesn't play. And I would like for it to be fun. Because
if
Timberwolves,
plays,
Spurs,
that's ecstatic.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 of the biggest stars in the league going at it in a playoff series. We need him to play. He's a game time decision tonight.
There we go. All right, 989-837-6125. Appreciate you sticking with us here on a Monday. We got 3 traditions to close out every show when we come back. Quick heads up for all the parents and athletes out there. If you've got kids getting ready for spring or summer sports, Great Lakes Spine and Medical has you covered with sports physicals. They make the process fast, easy, and stress-free. No long waits, no bouncing all over town. Plus, you're not just checking a box. Their medical team actually looks at the overall movement, flexibility, and injury prevention to help athletes stay healthy all season long. Whether it's school sports, travel teams, or rec leagues, Great Lakes Spine and Medical is a great local option to get it done right and on time. Appointments are easy to schedule. Get those physicals done now and be ready for game day.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Siding and building repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, we've got 3 traditions to close out each and every show here on the Ben Bosscher Show. The first of which is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
I believe I'm 1-0. in the history of Lock of the Day
Say
in May of
in
2026.
the context of what? Oh, okay. You could just say you're 1-0 in the history of May, too. Like,
That's true
there
as
was
well.
no May last year, you know?
I'm a
You don't have to
I'm a
limit
man
yourself.
on the mission in the month of May to make some money.
Whoa!
And we're 1-0 so far.
May the 4th be with you. That was crazy.
You've said that a handful of times. I'm willing to bet you've never seen a Star Wars movie.
I have.
Really?
I never watched the new ones, though. I never watched the ones that came out, like, one was like in the last decade.
And let me guess, you're like, no, I don't like any of those movies. You probably don't like them, do you?
I mean, I liked them I watched them when I was like a kid. I just haven't watched them since.
Mm-hmm.
What is this bit you're doing right now? I'm not an anti-superhero and Marvel movie person, by the way. I know that's where you're going.
You totally are.
I'm not anti. I just no. I've explained this to you on several times, and I'll do it here once again.
Sure, yeah.
I feel like it's too far gone for me to watch them.
Counter, it's not, because I've watched the first 3 phases all in the last 2.5 months.
That's psychotic.
Yeah, no.
How many movies is there? How many Marvel movies? Like
in the first 3
30-some?
phases, I believe there was 18.
No, there's got to be more than that.
Well, then
There's
they
all the
started
weird
making
ones.
a ton of them.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
said
talking
the first 3 phases.
Yeah, but I feel like I got to watch all the real, like, I just,
You
to
don't,
me, it's
though.
too far gone. Maybe I should watch
That's
them.
a choice. That's a choice.
It is.
Y-
I watch a lot of other
I'll
movies.
tell you this.
I watch a lot of different movies. I still watch a lot of movies.
But Doomsday comes out, in December, and it's going to be really, no.
Which one's that?
It's the next Avengers. So best Star Wars movie is, I think it's Return of the Jedi.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my favorite one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's most people's favorite one.
I feel like most people's favorite is Empire Strikes Back.
No, I mean, that one's sure.
So it's my third favorite, third or fourth favorite.
Which one's the worst one?
Attack of the Clones. It's terrible. Or any like the 10 or 11 or 9.
Oh, the new. Yeah, wait. Did you
10
like
or
the
11.
new ones or no?
I love 7. I love 7. The Force Awakens. I think that's one of the most underrated movies in the entire sequence. 8
All right.
and 9 are terrible. Like,
And those
horrendously bad.
they like go before or are they after?
They're after.
Okay.
They're after.
Yeah, the order technically always confuses you because do you watch in order of when they came out or do you watch in order of the actual timeline of how everything goes in place?
I think if you're going to restart it, you should watch it in order of date.
Of
date released.
date released, yes.
Yeah. Because it's supposed to be a
that's
prequel.
how it's supposed to. Yeah, and that's like how it actually went down. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be my recommendation. Anyway, we're 1-0 in May after a Friday 1-0 start.
Man, this is gonna be a lot of good movies this year.
There's a lot of great movies coming up.
A lot of good movie news coming out too.
You know what we got to bring back? What you watching Wednesday?
We do because Devil Wears Prada 2 is in theaters right now.
See, that I don't think I'm going to be partaking in.
I don't think I'm gonna watch it in the theater, but I will see it at some point. Yes.
Anyway, we've got a basketball game on today. I'm going to the Knicks versus the 76ers for my lock of the day. You know what? May, I'm taking it safe. I want a positive record in May, okay? All I want is a positive record in May. So we're already 1-0. I'm looking to go 2-0 by taking Jalen Brunson to score 27 points in tonight's game. I don't want to be too aggressive and go with 30. I'm not going to go like minus 200 and go 25. I'll go nice round 27 down a point. So Philly, what, their best bet is Kelly Oubre or Paul George on them? I don't think any of those guys are capable of staying in front of Brunson without getting into foul trouble. He averages 31 points per game at MSG in the playoffs since signing with the Knicks.
Well, John's happy with this.
I think this is just going to be a maxi.
John, go let him know how happy you are.
A maxi Brunson score off. So I'll take Brunson here at home.
Okay.
Thoughts?
I'm gathering them. Yeah, sure. Why not? You know, you're probably right with this pick. It's funny because on both sides, it's like, who's guarding Maxey for the Knicks? You know, like that's going to be the interesting part. The Embiid matchup it's there, and it depends on, of course, how healthy Embiid's going to be. But the Knicks have some guys that can match up with Embiid. But when Embiid is like doing Embiid things, it's no one is stopping him. You know, so. As far as the other side around, is anyone on Philly going to be able to guard Brunson? They have some options, but like there's no way they throw a rookie on Jalen Brunson. Kelly Oubre is a good defender, and Paul George probably won't be wasted on Brunson. So, sure, I like this pick. I think I think the Knicks will win tonight as well, just based off of Philly having that dramatic 3-1 comeback, 1 day's a rest on it. I like it.
There you go. All right, that's our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Next tradition. Game of the day.
Game of the day.
I mean, this simply comes down to whether or not Anthony Edwards is playing. If he's playing, it's obviously the two faces of the league squaring off in the West, Wemby and Ant. If he's not playing, I would rather go with the Eastern Conference game and go with the Sixers and the Knicks. Although the Gobert versus Wemby thing, I think, is interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, the French guys going at it.
I don't know. What's your lean on Ant?
Well, are we just discounting a Scooble Bump day?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, McGonagall's not playing. Maybe if he was, it'd be different. I think you just have to lean Sixers Knicks.
If the goal this month is play it safe for lock of the day, then I feel like I should do the same for.
But it's like there's stakes with game of the day. We don't have like a record or results of it, you know.
I think either way, I want to see Wemby. I think that's where I've landed on it. Wemby and the Spurs versus the Timberwolves.
It's also the late game. We have to keep that in mind.
I'll be up.
9:30. It's not extremely late.
That's our game of the day.
Game of the day.
I got two
There it
words
is.
for you. Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Must see TV.
Okay. Last thing we got to do is guess what Colin Cowherd's going to open with. He takes over our airwaves at noon, Fox Sports Radio. What do we think? What's he going to open with? Whose turn is it to go first? What's the score?
Any more questions?
Nope.
Okay, the score is 54-53. I retook the lead on Friday. He led with the Knicks. I got it right. Back up by 1 point, and that would mean it's your turn to go first today. Yes, episode 231.
See, it's not going to be Cleveland or the
options.
Raptors.
A lot of good options.
Could be the Pistons, but I don't really think
It
so.
could be.
I don't think it will be though.
Yep, you got to pick quick here.
I'll you know what? Whatever. I'll go with the Pistons. I'll go with the Pistons.
The Pistons.
Yep.
I'm going to rock with the Celtics blowing their round one series. I know that was on Saturday, and it's always risky to do that, but that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, there you go. Please like and subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. Follow us on Facebook, searching 100.9 The Mitt, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Where else is the other one? I think that's all of them. Yeah. Appreciate you guys for listening today. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Be there. Don't miss it. See you later.
The Ben Bosscher